There's a lot of decisions you have to make when you have a baby, and the one that I feel the most comfortable and safe making is using Huggies for our daughter, River. I always tell Nick that when River's crying, she's trying to tell us something, and that's the case with most babies. They express it through cries, and so we've turned to Huggies. The new Huggies Skin Essentials are here. A brand new dermatologist-approved line of diapers, wipes, and pull-ups training pants that are all designed with baby's sensitive skin in mind.
Their wipes are so thick and pH balanced to help maintain healthy skin. Their wipes have 0 harsh ingredients for a great, gentle clean.
The Skin Essential Diapers features the Skin Protect Liner, which is what helps take care of the ick and stick that can cause rash. They have this liner built in their diapers.
The whole diaper helps protect against the top 2 causes of rash by managing moisture and running mess. The liner gives you the barrier to help absorb moisture and lock away runny mess from baby skin. Pull-Up Skin Essentials has your big kid covered too with a training pant that is ultra soft and breathable to help protect sensitive skin through potty training. Learn more at Huggies.com.
Once again, head to Huggies.com to learn more.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Going Deeper edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the household. Everyone's here. How's everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Great.
Thriving.
It's so good to hear, Sierra. Oh, fantastic.
It's a great week.
Anyone else not fantastic? No?
I kind of smell, but that's my only
Okay.
thing.
All right. All right. Allie smells. Anyone else
My girl.
smell?
I probably smell.
Natalie usually smells.
I usually smell. Yeah.
She
I
smells
just
good.
Delightful. She smells
I got a little bit.
like
You
a
smell
flower.
good.
Oh,
Like a flower.
Justin
Yeah.
says I smell good.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Lots to get into. We have an amazing episode for you. We have the iconic duo, husband and wife. Brian Kelley, formerly of Florida Georgia Line, is with us with his wife, Brittney, talking about his, obviously, solo career, reasons why he left Florida Georgia Line, and the relationship. We always love having a married couple on the show, talking about everything that works or doesn't work. Or
We love to double date.
we love to double date. Yeah, they're a charming couple.
Did you double date?
Well, I mean, like,
Well, on the show, it was a
Oh,
double
yeah,
date.
there you go.
Yeah.
and like maybe
They
we'll-
invited us to Florida. They invited us
Yeah.
to their house. I think we're besties.
Ooh.
Yeah, we like making friends on the show.
The
Yeah,
Viall
we
Files
love to
connecting people.
sit here while you guys double date and watch
Is
the
it
double date
awkward?
happen.
It's like-
Yeah. No.
So much to get into. Maybe this is a good time to tell you guys, if you don't know, this weekend's Memorial Day weekend. Everybody, congratulations.
Woo.
Most of you have Monday off, including the household.
Yay.
We are not going to, so like we often do on these types of weeks, if you're an OG, you know what we're talking about. We're going to just move everything a day. So Ask Nick's not going to be on Monday. Enjoy your Memorial Day. You know?
Party.
Party, don't party. I
Celebrate.
don't know. No one's listening to podcasts on Memorial Day. Ask Nick will be on Tuesday. Reality Recap will be on Wednesday. Danny and Nia, the only healthy couple in reality TV history so
Facts.
far,
T.
are with us to talk about their time in the Valley. I think they have some Vanderpump thoughts as well, but they'll be with us for at least part of Reality Recap. Now, because Reality Recap's going to be on Wednesday, then that means that we're not even, another episode of Vanderpump will be out. Part 3 will be out in the Valley. But so we're going to get into a little bit of Reunion Part 2 in this intro. So if you haven't watched, just spoiler alert. I still think you'll enjoy the conversation. I won't ruin the show. And then what we don't cover, we will, we'll kind of we'll get into parts of Part 2 next week on Reality Recap on Wednesday. We also, Natalie is going to have to peace out and go to take a call. So she's only going to be here for part of the intro. Don't be surprised when she just stops talking.
I had a dinner last night and I sat beside Allie Luber and she was telling me all things Vanderpump. And I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, I'm coming on the show. So
I saw that post and I did click on the story and I was like, how did this happen?
she was like, I'm so glad you're here. It was like one of those where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to know anyone, and it's like, I'm just going by myself. And hopefully I know someone. I got there first, which is always.
You got there first?
I got there first. Yeah.
That's tough.
So I did a
That's tough.
quick lap around the table. There was name cards and I was like, don't know. Allie!
Did you move your cards so that you sit next to each other?
No, we were actually already sitting next to each other. And she
Oh.
was like, thank
Oh.
God we were, or I would have moved your card. And I was like, I actually got here first, so I would have moved it first.
I told Nellie to tell Ellie this, but in terms of Bravo talent, she's on my definitely top most desired guest. I find her to be one of the most interesting people in the Bravo space we don't know a lot about.
She's so fun.
I was going to say probably the most pleasant person I've ever watched on a reality TV show.
And
so fun.
smarter than she comes across on Vanderpump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see if we can land
Fingers crossed.
Allie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know why it's been this hard, Allie. Whenever you're ready.
I know.
So yeah, that's what's going on. Going deeper next week will remain on Thursday. So it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday sitch.
And we have a classic update next Friday. So it is just a bam, 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 bam,
Oh,
bam.
4 episodes. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh my
We're gonna
gosh.
update. We have a great guest for you. We haven't decided who we're going to put on next week. We got some good options. We just want to make it worth your while. So it's a secret. So
And then, yeah, update, Allie. You got update on Friday. Great
What?
week.
Cool.
Woo!
Allie has an update on Friday. Great. All right. What do we get into? The Brits. What's going on with the? Have you guys seen the Sexiest Men alive for the great country of Great Britain? Allie, can
did.
you explain these people? You seem to know a lot about the Brits. Like what's going on with their what is some of the most? Is it okay? Some of the most grotesque looking men.
Oh,
Not
But
what I
maybe
thought.
they have maybe sexy is like a multifaceted title.
Clearly,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's definitely not.
Like some of these people, I'm like, you seem like you have money, which is a very sexy quality.
Okay. They yes, they're all rich.
Isn't Prince William?
He's number 3.
Okay.
Oh.
Is it? Oh, it's ranked.
Yes.
So number 1 is like the
Wait.
hottest person in the UK.
The sexiest.
But isn't
Sorry,
he
sexiest.
Isn't he like legally obligated to be on the list because he's a royal?
Yeah, they would have.
Well,
That's number 1.
That's number 1. It's he's back to back number 1.
I actually get it. If you've ever watched Top Gear, I'm just like
He's the host of Top Gear. It's
He's
a car
so
show.
funny. He's very charming.
Is he?
Yeah. I was like, and that show's been running for like
What's his
over
name?
a decade.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Did they just choose
didn't
a
he do
bad
something
photo?
problematic not too long ago? Didn't he get fired?
I don't think so.
I feel like Idris Elba definitely should have been number 1. Why is
yeah,
he number 6?
should have been number 1. Tom Holland should have been number 2.
Killian Murphy is an interesting choice.
Really? I would be
no,
fine with
Murphy
Killian
is
number
hot.
1.
I think
He's hot.
I thought you.
No, love him in Peaky Blinders. He's definitely
Too flowery in life.
No. I think he just like he really leaned into his character on.
He's a good actor,
Oppenheimer.
You're right. Yep, he's a great actor.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah.
but he's got
who-
those eyes at least.
Piercing blue.
He does.
And so James Bond isn't on? Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is not even top 10.
Is he British or Australian?
Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's British.
Oh, these are all British people.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
UK's.
Oh, I thought it was
yeah,
like
it's
who the
UK
people in the
sexiest
UK
men.
thought was the sexiest people.
No.
I
that
think
makes sense.
it's the is it UK people? What UK people think are the sexiest?
I need to know the story behind number 9.
Who's number
Russ
9?
Cook.
Can you open that picture?
Who is Russ Cook?
I have no idea, but I want to know how
wow.
he made the list.
Very red beard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Also, the photo that they chose for number 7.
Yeah.
Can I ask a potentially inappropriate question while looking at these photos of Russ Cook?
always.
Does it even matter if you shave if you're dating a guy like that? Because if he's down there, how does he know what's yours or his?
He has
Wait.
eyes.
Wait,
well, I guess
what?
one would be red.
Yeah.
One would
That's a
not be
different color.
red.
But like,
It depends
I'm
who
talking,
he's
like,
going down on.
sensation.
It's
You're
true.
saying
Hair
like if
down
you
there
have like a
anyways.
big hairy bush and he's got a big full beard, that at the end of the day,
It's all the same.
when coitus is happening, no one really knows the difference.
Yeah.
Coituses.
Coitus,
Yep,
isn't that
That's
right?
correct.
Isn't that another name
Wow.
for
Okay.
Philanthropy.
Ooh.
yuck?
Yeah. Doesn't People Magazine, when they do their like Sexiest Men Alive, don't they do like a photo shoot with these men? Or are they just choosing like some random
This is this is a
profile picture that they might have had
This-
10 years ago?
And Russ Cook was the first person to ever run the full length of Africa.
Holy
So
shit.
he's got some accomplishments under his belt. So maybe that's what the Brits care more about than
They don't care about your traditional looks department.
kind of here for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like they didn't. You're right. Like People Magazine, they have like a legit photo.
There's never
shoot
not been
for
a
it.
hot sexiest man alive.
I don't know about that.
I feel like everyone
People-
is like, I
People
can see
lost
that.
their shit when who's Gwen's husband?
Blake Shelton.
Yeah, and who
remember that.
objectively is a very handsome man, like by all beauty standards. And we as Americans absolutely lost our fucking mind as if he wasn't deserving of such a title. So, like, clearly, yeah. I mean, usually it's like the Ryan Reynolds and Brad Pitts and the
Are we the problem?
Patrick Dempsey.
Chris Evans. These are shockingly
Paul Rudd.
sexy, attractive men.
Yeah.
John Legend was once the sexiest man alive.
Idris Elba has made it twice.
Well, see, that's why I was confused because in the U.S. we usually like the people don't have to be American to be the sexiest.
No, we.
So that's where I was like, okay,
we're inclusive.
There you go.
David Beckham.
Right. We have David Beckham on here. How come he didn't make
Oh
the
yeah, how is David Beckham not on this list?
Wait,
I'm so
that's
confused.
crazy.
Well, because so the list is UK sexiest men alive according to 2,000 women on dating site.
So this is like
Illicit
a real.
affairs.
This isn't like people when People Magazine does this. It's like probably 5 people in a meeting being like, all right, who should we fucking pick?
yeah.
Like this is a real. This is like a scientifically. This is a real poll.
Oh.
What are our thoughts on
Jackman.
this, on doing this in general?
I love it. Honestly, I'm here for it.
There's a sexiest woman alive too, right? Or is it just the men thing?
I think so.
Okay, so this is interesting. John F. Kennedy Jr. was on the cover because I was confused when I saw
I mean, he's a.
Prince William.
What do you mean? You don't think it's usually like an entertainer, but
Yeah.
he was. I mean, John F. Kennedy Jr. was like
Giving heartthrob.
he was
He-
like.
I mean,
he was.
Yeah,
Spit
I
it
mean,
out.
this was,
Are you
yeah.
okay?
He was like sexy. I mean, he was like truly like considered a sex icon. It was like that's what he was most known for. I'm here for it. I'm here for. It's good to have some superficialness in our world. You know.
Hot take, I think Harry's hotter than William.
I mean,
That's not a hot
yeah.
No,
That's not a hot
yeah.
take.
William
Okay,
looks
well,
like he
he's
got
made the
beat with
list.
the ugly stick.
Oh,
He made the
no.
list.
Well,
Just
They're
saying.
just mad at Harry.
Well, that's
Although
because Harry's not in the UK anymore.
William with a head of hair.
I was gonna say he used to be the heartthrob.
When he was like
William
20.
at St. Andrews. Mhm.
Yeah, he was. I'd fuck him.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Keep that
Period.
one in.
I'd watch.
Keep that one in.
Like, as a joke, People Magazine. Yeah. Remember those
We're just-
headlines?
Woo!
I'd fuck him. Nick Viall says in the Viall Files about Prince Williams.
People Magazine is just going to be tuning in every day for these sound bites.
Anyways,
You know who's, who hasn't made the sexiest man alive list? Who should? Tom Hanks.
should he? Now or when he was in his prime?
Anytime.
Oh.
Well, clearly the UK values age. That's for sure. They love a seasoned.
Yeah.
Well,
sex
I-
bot.
I wouldn't.
Was this like an attempt at a segue?
Yes, but also
Okay.
I do, but I also do think that he should be on this
Do
list.
It's like why? Well,
Yes.
because we're going to talk about his son.
Who's also, kind of hot. But yeah, I
Chet,
think
Chet Hanks is
It's
kind of a hottie.
attractive.
His name's
Is-
Chet.
yeah.
hot.
Mhm.
You
What
didn't
a
know
cool
that?
name. No, I didn't know that.
Also, is he? I asked this for several reasons, but is he adopted? He looks nothing like his parents. He acts nothing like his parents.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's adopted.
Not
He's-
at all.
No.
No.
Show me-
sorry,
what is-
Chet.
I mean-
No,
what does Chet look
Chet,
like?
Chet is the third child of Tom Hanks and the first child born to Hanks and Rita.
Oh, really?
Oh, he kind of looks like Rita.
So
see
before
that.
Rita, he had 2 kids. I thought they were all Ritas. They've been together forever.
Forever.
Wow.
Bless.
Wow.
I did not.
Yeah,
know
they
that.
have Chet and Truman Theodore Hanks together.
Oh my God.
And
many
then
kids
Tom
are-
Hanks is also father to 2 other children, Colin and Elizabeth, with whom he shares with his ex-wife Samantha Lou.
I feel bad saying, but I did not know Elizabeth existed.
I'm just stumped by the Truman and Chet of it all.
Truman and Chet.
Truman and Chet.
How did we go from Truman to like cool Chet?
Is Tom Hanks like a fan of presidents?
That's what I thought. It
To
was
be
like Truman
fair,
Theodore.
Chet is short for Chester Marlin Hanks.
Okay, well,
they
there you go.
Oh,
have
okay.
a
Chester.
name.
All
Oh yeah,
right.
that's much better.
No,
that
yeah,
that makes
that all-
more
yeah, that
sense.
makes Chester was
Marlin.
like, I'm not doing this. I need Truman to go by True.
You know
True
what?
and Chet.
You know
True.
what's been kind of trending is like people posting baby names that they would name their kids.
Yeah, like afternoon.
Yeah, like the most out of pocket names.
Francesca Fargo was like,
That's kind of cute
this
though.
is my list of names. I don't know if I want to share this one because we might use afternoon.
That's cute.
The comment's like, no, babe, you can keep afternoon.
that.
But thinking about baby names is like we don't want them to be that unique. It's not fair to your kids.
I do.
You
Like,
what
do?
I
names
have
do you like?
Justin is like the most basic name to
So what?
exist.
So what?
So like my kids, I want
It's not
them to
more
have a
basic
name that
than
isn't
Nick.
basic.
like
Do you
what?
have names?
Like, okay, this one's a hot take, but like Vanderbilt. Like I think that's a really cute like name.
Vanderpump.
Or like no, like Vanderbilt or like Atticus or like
I love Atticus.
Sage or like
Atticus,
something like that
yeah.
where not everybody has that name.
I just don't know if I don't know. I think it's hit or miss with the unique names.
I want to name
Like we found out that like when we came up with River, we didn't think to ourselves that's the most unique name ever. But we thought it was like, I guess, somewhat unique. We hadn't heard it a ton.
I heard it more in like boys' names.
Sure. We've
Yeah.
now realized it is an incredibly trendy name.
Right
By the
now,
time
yeah.
River is in grade school, she'll I went to school with like 7 Nicks.
Yep.
She'll be at school with like a handful of Rivers. And honestly, good. I'm glad, because it won't be like, what's your name? Ew. Like kids are so fucking mean on the
Did you guys see that TikTok of the kids doing candy salad? And that one kid was like, "My name's Ander Dingus, and I brought
Aw.
Sour Patch Kids."
Poor girl.
No.
Yeah.
That's so
not.
sad.
Right?
Dingus.
No, I do
Yeah.
feel like if someone is going to name their child, Caroline or Emily, my 2 sisters' names, it's gonna be like more weird than like a weirder name because everyone
Right.
in school is gonna be like,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
roads and rockets and blasts,
Aquarius.
and-
Yeah, just
like
like-
it's all gonna
Yeah.
be really funky, crazy names, and then like the simple names are gonna be like, ew, boring.
like the biblical names that someday
Elizabeth.
will be like, never heard that before.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
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 Jeremiah's a good name.
Yeah. I think of it in context of like when I order something at a store or like a takeout, they say Justin, 10 people are walking up. So now we're all like, is this mine? Is this yours? Versus if I give them like,
Are you okay?
I'm not okay. I give them a
He's
fake
like,
name.
I want to be the only person in the Raising
That's real
Cane's
trauma right there.
lobby.
Yeah, that's.
I do give them a fake name though. So like I avoid that.
What is your go-to fake name?
PJ.
Why?
Yeah. My initials flipped. But like nobody else is a PJ,
Oh.
but everybody's a Justin.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, PJ.
New nickname.
PJ. Tom Hanks' son.
Yeah. What about Chet?
Now it's not so important. Well, he asked his son to explain the Drake Kendrick
Tom
Lamar
Hanks
beef.
reached out to Chet
Yeah.
to explain the Drake and
Yeah,
Kendrick
which is
Lamar
fair
beef.
because like I don't what's going on. I mean,
I
I know
don't-
what's going on, but I
What is
also
going on?
they're
Leah?
just
Are they still beefing?
they're writing songs
so.
about each other and
Who
beefing that
won?
was
According to Chet, it seems like Kendrick.
Yeah. So I
Kendrick
think
Lamar.
the media perception is that Kendrick won. But I think he also kind of had the last say.
Why did he win?
When I think he just had better disses, but I think like the most recent cycle of disses, Drake released one and then like within an hour, Kendrick released another one. So it's like Kendrick's just faster to
yeah,
like
they're just writing these songs. They're
beating
just
to
like
the
pumping
punch.
these
Yeah.
out. Like
They're
I-
good at freestyling. Yeah.
I also heard allegedly, because I don't know if this is fact, but I heard that Drake had his record company reach out to Kendrick's to be like, "Can we stop this?" Because Kendrick's raps are that intense.
Savage.
He,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
he outs
yeah.
him with a lot of stuff, uses names. It's
I called him a pedophile.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've worked out to it multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's good.
I definitely worked out to when
Kendrick Lamar's.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
It
When-
amps you up. Gets the people going.
I'm like reading the lyrics while I'm running. I'm like, this is nuts.
when there was that
You're like,
feud.
Drake's such a pussy.
I can't believe I ever liked you.
Okay.
And he's just a categorically better rapper. Like,
Is he a better entertainer though? I like Drake.
I think
I mean,
so.
I feel like Drake has been like notoriously known for having ghostwriters. And so then I feel like
Drake's a
Kendrick
performer.
Lamar is.
Drake made me wait 2 hours for a concert, and so I never really liked him the same after that.
Diva.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Me or Drake?
Drake, but I guess if the boot fits.
The boot.
The boot.
I was just like, by the time he came out, I was like, I'm tired. Like,
I'm time to go home.
Like,
It's 10 p.m.
uh, no, it was like midnight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we discuss Miss Catherine Dennis getting arrested for DUI from Southern Charm?
Is she trying to get back on the show? Justin has the theory that anyone.
Bravo. Yeah. I perpetuate
Bravo
this a lot.
related.
So maybe I'm the problem, but like commonality in the Bravo sphere that if you're becoming irrelevant, you get caught for a DUI or drinking or being reckless while drinking to stay on the next season or to be brought back.
Unfortunately, this is Catherine's second DUI, and she still hasn't been back on the
Got it.
show.
The first
from her
one to
first
get her
one.
on?
Nope.
Okay. So
No.
for her, maybe that's not the instance.
She's
Why
got.
was she why did she get kicked off? Did she get fired?
She wasn't a cast favorite, right?
It wasn't so much that to her ex-husband, or not even husband, her baby daddy, or he's a very powerful family from Charleston. And let's just say like any move that she makes, it's either she on drug tests. She has to go to rehab. Like he makes her jump through hoops, and it's just not a good look for her to be on reality TV, to be completely honest. Unfortunately, I do feel really bad for her.
She was good TV though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she did have alcohol in her system.
Oh, I'm not saying that she's not guilty of what she did, but I'm like, her story is actually really sad. She's been on the show since she was like 2021, and Thomas met her the first season and pretty much has controlled her life since then, and takes away the kids, fights for custody, and he even got arrested for cocaine charges, and like literally nothing happened to him. But Catherine smoked weed and had to go to rehab and was like labeled a drug user. So
Well, even now the show references her as like the crazy redhead.
yeah.
Like they bring that up all the time. So now you know like she's the crazy redhead.
They just say the crazy head redhead.
They won't say her name, but they say that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope she gets the help she needs.
Truly.
Yeah, and I hope she doesn't get behind the wheel intoxicated
sure,
anymore.
I feel like second DUI, that means you have the breathalyzer in your car.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like that should be a thing for all cars.
Wait, that you breathalyze before you drive?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't, I'm just thinking where I'm just like, can I buy this car and let
Sierra's like, but like, what if you have like a half a drink?
No, not because of that. I just think it's like not a standard that everybody drinks and drives. So I'm just kind of like,
True.
for that to be a standard feature, or to buy that car specifically for that feature would be a little alarming.
No, but in theory, it's just like, that would be one way to solve if a car wouldn't start if there was alcohol in your breath.
It's like in the ignition. You have to like blow through it in order to turn
your
it.
car.
No,
If you really wanted to solve
I had an ex that
drunk driving.
got a DUI and had the breathalyzer to start the car. It's attached to it. Yeah. Like you have to get it installed. It's
Like
part.
the key goes into the breathalyzer?
That's why they say it's cheaper just to Uber than it is
To get a
to get a DUI. It's like $10,000 minimum. And if it's your
And
second
that's
offense,
before lawyer costs and all the other penalties.
it's probably around $20,000, but you also have to pay to get the breathalyzer installed in your car. So
Tea.
yeah.
You know who else is
Damn.
drinking? I don't know, Nick, if you want to talk about this, but JoJo?
JoJo called me up for her birthday. She was at Tyler's house.
As she should. She's 21.
21.
Congrats.
She's
Yeah.
embracing.
Did she get punched in the face?
Huh?
What?
Yeah, she did say that.
She
Right?
said she did?
I'm like,
On her TikTok, she was in a kitchen. I don't know if it was hers or Tyler's. And she was like, I'm drunk as fuck right now. And then she was like, I got punched to the eye. It's okay. It's okay.
I'll tell you what, JoJo is, her execution has been flawless. She really has. I mean, people are talking about her. She has been resilient. She has had thick skin. Obviously, people are talking about her both with praise and a lot of criticism. But what they are doing and what JoJo is trying to accomplish is just being in the conversation. I mean, they're doing bits about her on SNL. Like, she is all over the fucking place.
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, she is. And like, people are just, even if you're forced to listen to her music, you're listening to her music.
I mean, as you're talking right now, Karma is playing in the back of my head.
Yeah.
it's been playing in the back of my head for months.
Well, even like the Disneyland stuff, I'm like, all of you guys are like Disney adults. I'm like, the second that she's drinking, it's an issue. Like, that's what everybody in the media is like. TikTok right now is going viral for people critiquing JoJo at Disneyland. But I'm like, if a Disney adult does it, it's not an issue.
No, well, they're just critiquing JoJo.
Yeah, exactly.
And also,
And
that's
she
what
looks
you
happy.
do. That's what you do. You drink around the world at Epcot. There's like 5 rides there.
'Cause,
Like,
yeah, people were saying
I
like,
never
yeah.
understood Epcot. Like, what's the point?
it's there's 12 different countries that are celebrated, and as you walk around, they have different signature drinks from each country. It's a lot of fun. I did it 2 summers ago, and by the time we got to England, we were all speaking in accents, like I will take a black and tan. Like, we're literally like, it's so much fun.
Does it change every year, the signature drink?
That I don't know, because it was my first time a couple summers ago, but I would absolutely do it again. Absolutely.
Nick,
That's very
were you
interesting.
invited to Disneyland, or was it just Tyler Cameron that made the cut?
Oh, absolutely was not invited. No, I just got a random FaceTime call from JoJo.
She knew
She was
you
already
weren't
at town.
leaving.
Yeah, she was. She knew I wasn't coming. Like, I flew to Florida once for Tyler. It's never good. It's a long fucking trip. Like,
Florida?
Florida?
Oh, Disney World. Yeah.
Oh, especially, theme parks. Fuck that. No.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
you've said this. You
I'm not a
hate
theme park
parks.
guy. I'm not a theme park guy.
Couldn't be me. I love
Definitely
a theme
not.
park.
Not even like a one and done. Like just visit it, see the attractions, and then leave.
Sure, but I've been to enough of theme parks that, until my kids are like,
What else do you do at a theme park?
Well, like I mean, like some people go like every single year, but like I'm saying, like if you do a one and done, just see like the sets.
I've been
and
to
then, like,
theme
leave.
parks.
Yeah.
Is it the theme that you don't like or the rides?
It's the people.
Okay.
The Disney adults.
Tourist.
So what about
Nick,
like
will you
a?
come to
They
America
gross
with
me out.
Ride some rides.
Theme park people gross me out.
Well, yeah. What about Mall of America?
What if we bring wet
Yeah.
wipes for you?
It's like my elitistness is
It's beaming.
was beaming.
It's because they have so much cut fruit all over those parks.
Oh, that's so true.
That's
He just
why.
cringes every time.
Water parks are the worst. Being like
Water parks, yes, those are
being in
gross.
line with people while they're in bathing suits is disgusting. It's so fucking gross.
I love water parks.
Oh, do not. You can
in a
get staph
2-hour
infections.
line with like people in
Oh.
bathing suits,
And
it's
then you have
not-
to sit where they were just sitting.
It's like
on
going
the
to a
slide.
nude beach. It's like you just no, I don't need to see this.
Does
You
it
know?
gross you out, or is it like embarrassing to you?
I'm embarrassed for people.
Not yourself though.
No, I'm never embarrassed for me.
But you're there.
And then you're in the wave pool where like everybody is peeing.
Nope, absolutely not. You couldn't pay me to go to
Yeah,
a water park.
Everyone's peeing in the wave pool.
I mean, I'm being somewhat ridiculous right now, but yeah, the theme park people gross me out.
That's fair.
I've never peed in a pool though. Is that a common
No.
thing?
You've never done it?
I like a good roller coaster.
Never.
You've never peed in a pool?
What if you got like a
Never.
fast pass or something?
No, I mean,
so
like,
you-
there's a world in which I'd go, and like fast pass for sure, but like,
What about a carnival?
ugh, yeah,
Really?
even worse. You know, the kind of people who go to carnivals.
What about the mall?
I like them all.
Do you like to go anywhere in public?
Like, what's the compromise?
That's a genuine reaction of just, ugh. You insulted his ancestors with that one.
I take it back.
Oh,
Nick
Christ.
hates Florida. He doesn't like going on planes with anyone. The whole state of Florida.
I-
Nope.
I can be difficult. I have a lot of boundaries.
Yeah.
Should we talk about boundaries?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about boundaries.
That's a nice segue. Yeah.
Here we
Speaking of,
go.
that was even unintentional. I was seeing clips of Vanderpump Reunion Part 2. There was a scene on the reunion Part 2 of Vanderpump where like Lala and Ariana are kind of going back and forth, and Ariana very eloquently, as she often is like, trying to explain to Lala that like you don't have to agree with my boundaries to respect them. Some version of that.
Yes.
You know, and it reminded me of. We often obviously talk about boundaries on this show, which almost kind of annoys me now, just because now the word boundaries is another one of those overused and misused words that, you know, the internet has taken a hold of, and now everyone's using it in incorrect situations, and they're watering down the meaning. And as we often remind people on this show that like your boundary is often inconvenient and annoying to other people, because a boundary is in you literally limiting access to people, access that they often are used to receiving.
Mhm.
Now, what people have done with the word boundary is they've used it as a way to basically make their, you know, annoying, like their particularness or their being difficult sound better.
Like I've set a boundary, but it's not actually setting a boundary.
Technically, it might actually be setting a boundary, you know, because it's like, hey, I don't want to, you know, like, for example, like, hey, let's do shots. You know, I'm not a shot guy. Even in high school or college, I was like, I don't do shots. So every time we were at the bars, everyone, let's do shots. I was like, nah, I'm good. And everyone would be like, no, nigga, you're no fun, you know? I mean, technically, that was a boundary of mine. I don't fucking do shots. You know, I wasn't out there being like, guys, sorry, I have a boundary. I was just like, no, I don't have fucking shots. You know what they called me? Not fun. Annoying, difficult, or whatever. And that's the thing. It's like when it comes to your boundaries, like words that people or phrases that people will use to describe your boundaries are often things like difficult, annoying. People will be like, you've changed. They might accuse you of leading them on, stonewalling you. Like the thing about boundaries is like we want people to respect our boundaries and to love our boundaries. But as people have recently reminded people who have been misusing the word, a boundary isn't for them. It's for you. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to be like, this is my boundary. Just show them with your actions. I'm sorry. You don't need to name it. You know, I don't do that. They don't have to like it. They really don't need to respect it. It's nice if people respect it. But again, most people are going to find it obnoxious and annoying. And that's why people have a hard time enforcing their boundaries, because like they don't want people to be mad at them. They want people to like them. They, you know, they want to be people pleasers. You know, they don't, that's why they have such a hard time about it, because they don't want people to judge them for their boundaries. So then they don't enforce their boundaries because they would rather be liked than to enforce their boundary. But we're just saying, well, this is my boundary. This is my boundary, as if like everyone is supposed to be like, oh, it's your boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, okay, cool. I don't want to.
Well, I do think it's effective when communicating, like, because you're saying like you can have your boundaries, but you don't need to be like putting it out there,
I'm just saying,
like disclosing.
I'm just saying we're, you know, because we have this entitled society, we are now like, would it be nice if people respected our boundaries? Sure.
Yeah.
But like, and by respect, I mean like they like appreciate. Oh, you don't want to do a shot? It's your boundary. Oh, okay, Nick, sure, no problem. We'll just have this shot. I just, you know, since it's your boundary, it's just it's just like they have the right to be like, he's no fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they said like that there's a difference between respecting and understanding a boundary.
Right.
But like, so I think
like, neither really are important when it comes to friends. But like, you know, Ariana's point, I get. It's just like, listen, if we're friends, you don't necessarily need to understand it. I just need to respect it.
Yep.
right.
And since you know it's a boundary, I don't need you to agree with it. But like, just know that this is a boundary of mine. I guess I'm just here to say that, like, when, you know, because Lala's like, well, you didn't respect my boundaries, or you didn't, you know, these were my boundaries. It's just like, that's because, like, again, by definition, boundaries are annoying to most people.
Right. Well, that's why I agree with Ariana saying like you don't need to respect my you don't need to understand my boundary. You just need to respect it, because going back to your drinking example, if you say I don't want to do shots, the next question shouldn't be, well, why?
Mhm.
Explain it to me. I don't understand.
No, but most people are. But like, they don't say why. Like when I was in college, it was like, oh, Nick, of course,
Party pooper.
party pooper, you know, boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was comments like that, you know, and like, these are my, you know, like, we're just fucking around with each other, you know, and like, in the Ariana Lala situation, like, Ariana's saying you don't need to understand, you need to respect it, with the assumption that they're friends.
Mhm.
Like, you know, hey, I just need you to respect that I'm not comfortable with this. The reality is, I guess, to my point is, like, Alala is going to have an opinion, which she does, right? She doesn't really, she doesn't understand it or respect it.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know?
By saying that she doesn't understand it, she's not respecting it.
Sure. But I guess I just think as a society, we act like you know, if we name it a boundary, then therefore people need to just be like, they're just gonna, oh, okay. Yeah. In reality, the definition of a boundary is it is inconvenient. You are taking something away from something that they're used to getting.
Yeah.
You know,
so what would,
Lala was used to Ariana just being a part of the group.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know, and now Ariana's like, nah, I don't do that anymore, and that is inconvenient to Lala.
right. She can't understand it because she's like, well, you're living with him, so make it make sense that you'll live with him, but you won't hang out in social situations with him
It
in the
doesn't
group.
have to make sense to Lala or anyone else.
She just needs to respect.
I guess my point is like, on the flip side, you know, they're filming a reunion. I get why they're, but like, Ariana doesn't need anyone. She doesn't need anyone's permission. They don't even need to respect it, you know? And that's part of the challenge of enforcing a boundary, is realizing that most people won't.
Yeah.
And that you still have to enforce it, knowing that you're going to ruffle feathers and you're going to lose friends, and or people are going to talk shit about you, or you might be dating someone, you know, it's like, hey, I don't do that anymore. It's just, well, you've changed. It's like, I guess, sure, I have a new boundary, you know?
Yeah.
But don't you hate it when people tell you you've changed, you know? But like,
Yeah.
that happens all the time when we set and enforce a boundary. That just, like, it's just annoying the way we.
I think it's good to like
use it.
say it though, because I think you're advocating for yourself in most instances. And like in that situation, like sometimes you have to say boundary as a trump card for someone to actually like take a step.
Well,
I get
in
what you're
my
saying, but
opinion,
I'm saying that we say it now, assuming that if we say the word boundary, it's going to change how they
Right.
feel about it. And
Yeah.
I'm saying realistically, it's not.
Well, my question then is like, so if you keep running into circumstances with a certain friend where you're trying to set boundaries and they're either not understanding or respecting them, like, is that the end of the friendship? Like, is that just a sign that, okay,
Yeah, maybe.
if you're not gonna, if people around me aren't gonna respect what I want to do and my boundaries, then like, bye.
Enforce
It
your
kind
own
of depends on what
boundary,
it is, right? Like, using the shot analogy, like, you know, back in the day, I was just like, it didn't like affect me to the point where I can't be friends with these
Right.
people because they call me a party pooper because I don't do shots. Like, we all survived the friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But some people wouldn't. Like if a boundary is important enough to you and it bothers you enough that people won't respect it, then
Well, yeah, I mean, like I didn't have like a drinking problem or anything like that. But if let's say I was struggling with like my drinking and I was really trying to minimize my alcohol intake, but every time I hung out with this group of people, they made me feel bad about it, then yeah, I might not be able to hang out with those people anymore.
right, because I'm trying to think like what's the solution then if your boundaries are annoying to people
I tell you what the solution is. It's being okay with not people liking you.
or dumping them as friends.
It's being okay with not being liked. It's which
Are
is
you-
part of growing up.
Are you saying your issue with boundaries is the
My issue,
entitlement of it?
I have no issues with boundaries.
Okay.
Love boundaries. I'm obsessed with boundaries. We've been talking about boundaries since this show started in
Right.
2019.
Because I'm an advocate for it.
I'm
like,
annoyed with how people like gaslighting and all these other yous. Now they throw out the words. You know, Rachel on her fucking show is throwing out the word. She's suing Ariana because she's setting a boundary. That's literally what she said.
Right,
She
yeah.
is using the
She's
word
corrupting it.
boundary
Accountability.
to
but
you know,
yeah.
to make her being a shitty person sound better.
Yeah.
And that's my problem. The way people are using the word and when they say boundary, they are immediately expecting people to then respect it or to accept it and to be okay with it or not finding it annoying or not finding it to be difficult. And I'm saying that like your boundary in reality often is annoying and obnoxious and difficult for other people. And part of the challenge of enforcing it is being okay with that.
Yeah.
So
And not expecting people to like hear the word boundary and go, oh,
Right. Okay.
it's
I'll
your
drop it.
boundary. I'll drop it. I won't have an opinion of it. I'll just respect it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not how it works.
yeah. I almost feel like similar to gaslighting, like people misusing these words ruin the word. And it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, maybe I don't use the word boundary anymore. And I just say, I'm not drinking. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out
Yeah.
with my ex who cheated on me.
Yep.
Gaslighting is a good example because people use it as like a power move now. So I get it in that context. But like people don't use it in a serious, like you're gaslighting me, but it's like, I'm trying to make a point. Like you're gaslighting me, you know?
Say it again.
It's like a power move.
One more time. Just say it again. I was thinking about something else.
I was saying that like gaslighting is a good example to me because it's like a power move a lot of the times now where it's not like actually advocating for yourself. It's more like,
You're just weaponizing it.
yeah, but that's exactly, you're weaponizing it.
You're
Well,
just
but that's the thing too. It's like that trump card. It's like the final thing if you want something to end a conversation, because you could say you're gaslighting me, and then it's like, what is the other person supposed to say? No, I'm not. The literal definition of gaslighting
Yeah.
is like making you feel crazy and negating your personal experience. So it's like they're
Yeah,
trapped.
yeah. Now, anytime you get in a fight with someone and you feel like you're not on the same page, one person's like, "You're gaslighting me." Well, have you ever, anytime you've been in a fight, especially with a partner, do you not feel confused?
Mhm.
That's literally the definition of being in a fight. You're like, I do not understand what you're
I
saying.
think one thing, you think another.
What you are saying sounds crazy to me.
Right.
And then that person might be like, well, like, what are the things people say they accuse gaslighting? It's just like, I didn't, like, well, I didn't say it like that, or like, you're putting words in my mouth, immediate gaslighting or whatever.
You always do this.
People use these words like boundaries now and gaslighting because they're just like they don't want to have a conversation, like
Mhm.
because they don't want to talk and they don't want to communicate, so they want to win.
Carl
They want to
Lindsay.
win the
Trump
fights.
card.
And
Yeah.
it's a trump card. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
guys, just boundary.
Conversation's over.
Conversation's over. Okay, well, cool.
But now
Carl has a new boundary. It's don't
ask questions.
Not don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Just cheerlead.
just be soft. Just be
Yeah. His boundary is to not be around someone who's soft.
Speaking of Summer House, they did just we get to see their looks for the reunion.
West crushed
Should
it.
we take a look?
I didn't see West. I saw Paige, Queen, love her.
I feel like the women always look
Always nail it.
Good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Amanda's like my style icon. I love her.
But West had a loose fit, very
Ooh.
on trend. I mean, Kyle's nice fitted suit.
Sierra looked the hottest to me.
Thank you. Just kidding.
You're welcome.
West was the most fashion forward. He took I won't even say it's a risk. He looked good, but like
Well, he's wearing like an undershirt with a suit top.
I also love
it's
the
more
way
about
he
it's
wears
more
his
about
hair.
the baggy fit. It's more about the loose fit.
Yeah. I like
His
his outfit
hair.
a lot.
His hair
Yeah.
is like unkept, but I'm like here for it.
Well, he's got great hair.
It's
Yeah.
He
Jesse
does.
looks great too.
Yeah, but it's a nice fitted suit.
Yeah.
The guys, they all look nice.
He looks nice. I wouldn't have.
But Wes
worn
was
a
the
blue
only
shirt.
one who was like who either on his own or from advice from like a stylist saying, "Hey, like this might not be something you chose, but this will look good on you."
It's the shoes because all the men are wearing loafers except for him.
There's also a difference between wearing something and it being styled, and it's like the choice of the open jacket and the belt and like everything. It just
For
flows
sure.
together. So it's like he could have worn a standard suit, but instead they did something different, and it looks great.
Also, Sierra, correct me if I'm wrong, but for reunions, everybody gets like a couple colors to wear, right?
A couple colors.
Like I'm pretty sure before they shoot the reunion, they give like color choices for like the talent to
Right,
choose
because I was
from.
saying I love that they're all color coordinated in like these creams.
But
and
I'm pretty sure like somewhere in the Housewives series, someone revealed that like they give them like a swatch of colors, or not like specific colors, but like wear blue, green, whatever.
Okay, I can believe that for housewives.
And then they choose.
I've seen some outfits for like summer house where someone's wearing like green sequins. So I'm like,
And doesn't match.
it doesn't
Yeah.
go with the rest of the vibe. But this is very color coordinated. This might be Danielle's best look, not my favorite, but her best look for a
Yeah,
reunion.
I was gonna say of all of them, I don't like
Yeah.
Danielle's.
It's a good reunion set too. Like it looks
I
pretty.
mean,
Sierra's
Sarah,
just hot.
obviously. I like Lindsay's look.
She looks
Great
like Mother
outfit.
Teresa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mother Teresa.
She's reminding me of
I'm-
the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, there you go.
And
obviously Paige was gonna
Paige
kill
killed
it. Kyle,
Fine.
I like it.
I respect Kyle's fashion because he always has like an eccentric, like goofy, like this doesn't look right, but it works.
Did Carl get new teeth?
Carl did, and
He
people
did.
were talking about it.
he did.
People
he
are,
got
yeah, not
veneers.
happy.
Not happy about it.
They don't look bad.
Oh wait, also Gabby looks great too.
You can hear his new teeth.
What do you mean?
Is that a thing? Like
What
you
is
can
that
hear the
expression?
veneers?
Well, you
Say that again.
Like in the way that he speaks,
Yes.
you can hear the veneers.
you
yeah.
can hear
It's
how
similar to
you
when
can
you can
hear how his
hear-
new teeth.
Yeah.
Like they like matched each other.
Not even that, but like he sounds
It's
different.
like he doesn't know how to talk with them.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like dentures. Like they're too big for his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
It looks
It's
nice
like when
though.
we have guests on with a lot of lip filler and you can like hear that very distinct.
Why haven't they figured out veneers? And like I don't think this is not a criticism for Carl, but it's just like why do they have veneers that look like chiclets?
Some
Like
of them,
why don't they just get like why don't they have one option which is like these look like real teeth?
some of them look real. The issue is some people want like straight white teeth, or they want bigger teeth. But like that, those are both not the answer to like getting real veneers or real looking
but
veneers.
shouldn't there be like a specialist or a doctor who's like, hey, I know exactly what teeth that will look like better versions of your teeth, but look like your teeth.
I'm sure they
There
exist.
are, but people don't go to all the same person.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah,
I want what I
yeah,
want.
but like Carl's he's a
But like,
television
look
star.
at Taylor Swift just got a new set of veneers and they fit her face so much better than her
Did
last
she?
one.
Wait, Taylor Swift has veneers?
And she can still sing with them.
Yeah.
There's a whole list of celebs who have veneers.
Should I get veneers?
Yeah, but like Taylor had veneers. That's
You have
when
nice
she
teeth, though.
I
banged
don't.
her like
Yes, you do.
her canine. Is that what this one is? And it kind of like cracked off. So then she had those veneers for a while. But
My teeth are
these teeth
fine.
were much higher up. And then now her new ones that she got during the eras. So you can see the different like they just her face they fit her face and her smile so much better.
She also got like Botox.
So
and stuff,
are they
though.
easy to replace veneers? Like I guess what I'm saying,
not
like
a
for
dental expert by any means, but
Well,
They
see,
shaved down your
veneers are
tooth.
also like
could someone not
permanent.
like let's say in theory, and I'm not trying to be hard on Carl here. I'm not trying to, but like but given that maybe it didn't land, could like a veneer company of some kind
like replace them.
You can change
couldn't
them.
they reach out to Carl and be like, hey bud, let's try this again?
It's a lot of pain
I
to
always
change it though.
think about
Is it
that.
painful?
and it's
Yeah.
hours.
Because they shave your tooth and then they have to like put it on top of the nub,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, I know that
So
you
once you
Yeah.
get veneers,
That's it.
once you
you're-
go veneer, you can't go back.
you can't go back to your normal teeth. But they do say that if you want to replace the veneer, this is according to Park Avenue Dental, they just basically do the same thing as your original teeth. They'll just file down the ones that you currently have and shove new ones up.
No.
Your teeth look good though, Nick.
Yeah. You don't.
Wait,
do
let
not
me
get
see your teeth. I
veneers.
don't know if I've ever
That's a nice
looked at your
smile.
teeth.
That's a good
it's fine.
smile.
It's fine. I didn't have braces.
I was like, if you want
I didn't
them
either.
to be
That's a flex.
fake white, just get them whitened, but don't change your teeth.
Yeah, whitening, braces.
I
You-
like
you
natural
talk
teeth.
for a living. Do not do that.
No, I don't want to sound. I mean, fuck. People already think I have like
Work done.
that too. No, like or mumble or whatever. It's just like
Do you want to have your Megan Fox moment and you can list off all of the procedures you've ever gotten done?
0.
Let me see the
That
thumbs.
was boring.
That would be crazy if you got veneers and then all of a sudden just had like an accent.
Deviated septum, internal. When I was in college, Nose looks the same. Going back to the Vanderpump Reunion part 2, Lala is now calling out Schwartz for gaslighting Joe. Last week she was defining grooming. This week she's defining gaslighting.
And she said, you're doing it right in front of my face.
And boundaries.
And boundaries.
Lala's a dictionary.
And she's 0 for 3, by the way, and getting it right. Like, that's not gaslighting. That's called, I don't even think Tom Schwartz led on Joe, but what she's accusing Tom is leading him on. It's not gaslighting.
Well, I guess the gaslighting could come in place if Joe was like, we were dating, and Schwartz was like, we weren't dating.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's where the gray area of gaslighting
well, that's
is.
still
Katie,
that's a disagreement on.
I think that Katie jumped in too, being like, clearly she thought one thing, you thought another.
But that doesn't make it gaslighting, to be clear. People having a difference of opinion isn't gaslighting. That's called a disagreement.
What if they like had a conversation pre-hand, not saying this happened, that they were like, we are dating, then this happened, and then after he's like, we were never dating.
Gaslighting would be, let's say that Joe and Tom actually had a conversation in private, and Tom said, yes, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, we're dating, I want to do this thing. And then a week later, he all of a sudden got real distant, closed off, and Joe was like, we're dating, and Tom was like, I never fucking said that, you're crazy. That would be gaslighting.
Right. Okay. So then I guess not.
Well, and Schwartz also said the thing that he liked about Joe so much was that she was away from the group and that she didn't want to be a part of all of this, and that things started to crumble once she was introduced into the cast or like onto the show, which I also get as well, because he very much came out about Sophia. They did a whole talk about it while Joe's just crying next to him. And but he's like very happy and very like out there about that. So it was kind of one of those, like, not hard to watch, but it's just like I understand how Schwartz could think that he wasn't leading her on. I can also see how Joe could feel like he was, because she was his secret.
Oh, exactly. Like, Joe can feel led on,
Yeah.
and it could still be true that Tom didn't.
That's true. Yeah.
That's possible. And also keeping someone a secret. Nally and I weren't exactly like, we kept our relationship a bit private at first. What's the difference between keeping something private and keeping something a secret? Tom is, in fact, on TV. He is a public figure. I mean, Joe is now too. But, like, it's not quite the same as, like, is it wrong to, like, be a little reluctant to, like, publicly announce a relationship and then all the things that come with that?
I don't know. It didn't take him very long to publicly announce his girlfriend.
Fine, but maybe he was a little bit more excited about that. Maybe he had less reluctance. Maybe Joe clearly comes with a lot of red flags. She's like literally one of the messiest people I've ever seen. She's on a live. She like literally lost. Did you see that live where she lost her shit and like stormed off? And she's like, someone asked a question. She's like, I can't believe these people. Like, she's unhinged.
Well, that's why I think that hiding your relationship, the reasoning behind it matters a lot. So, like, if you and Natalie, if you and Natalie decided to keep it private for a while, that's very different than Schwartz being embarrassed of his relationship.
Right. Well, how do you know he was embarrassed?
Well, he would introduce her as Joseph or like the friend, or this is my he introduced her.
To be clear, do we all agree that people in 2024 have hookup relationships? They have hookup buddies.
Situationships.
They have situationships.
True, and those are very nuanced.
And we all accept those as like, when no one's like, oh, you can't, if someone comes to us and say, oh, I have a fuck buddy, do we immediately assume that someone's being gaslit or someone's hiding the relationship or something nefarious is going on?
No.
Like, I'm not saying Tom is without criticism here, and Tom clearly could have been more empathetic, and he could have been more considerate of Joe's feelings, and he could have been like, you know what, I sense she likes me more than I like her, and even though like she's saying like I don't care, like I want this, he could have been like, I don't know if this is the right thing for us to do, to be intimate and have sex. But like, that's also, people don't actually do that.
Yeah.
And when Joe is, in these types of situations, I'm sure Joe wanted to hang out, and we saw on camera multiple times Tom being clear of what this relationship was or wasn't to him, and people all the time have dinner with friends. They introduce friends to family members. They have sex with friends. Like, people do. That doesn't make it a relationship, especially in 2024.
I agree with you, but I think that in this particular situation, they were on two different pages about it. So, like, in Schwartz's mind, maybe it was
Tom's fault. Does that mean he's a gaslighting, manipulative, like?
I think he was leading her on during their relationship to believe maybe that, because she did believe that they were either dating or headed for a relationship or in love with each other, right? And if he didn't,
Is it possible that she was delusional?
I think that he was leading her on and that now he's gaslighting her after the fact.
How?
Because I think that he was leading her on during the course of their whatever relationship they were having. And now he's trying to make it seem like
It was
a lot less than what it actually probably
Yeah.
was.
And I think that's when Lala said
And
that.
why do we assume that? Based on what?
Based on, in my opinion, Schwartz's previous actions in relationships, his previous actions in life, like he kind of just.
What do you mean? Like again, can you be more? He was married to Katie, but like how well do you know Schwartz?
I don't. I mean, I think
I
that
agree.
they didn't
He's a people
show.
pleaser. And people pleasing
Mhm.
can get you in trouble. And people pleasers have a hard time of being honest about their real feelings,
Mhm.
and that can lead people on. Sure,
For sure.
but like, do you expect? You're accusing Tom of gaslighting Joe. Is it possible that Schwartz, for example, again, not excusing his behavior, doesn't mean it doesn't have things to work on. But like gaslighting is a form of abuse. Let's not forget. Like I know we like to misuse it and just throw it out there like fucking candy. But real gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse. And are we really accusing Tom of psychological abuse because he was maybe a poor communicator and didn't want to hurt Joe's feelings and kind of ignored his instincts that Joe was into him more than he was into her, even though Joe was almost certainly being like, I want this, let's hang out, even though Tom was probably like, we're just friends.
I don't think he's being intentionally malicious about it, but I think that do you think it's possible that he could, be gaslighting her without malicious intent?
No, because when it comes to gaslighting, intent is like the key thing. Because
Interesting.
gaslighting is, because having a disagreement isn't gaslighting. Feeling confused in itself isn't gaslighting. And when you have a fight with a partner, you're not on the same page. Sometimes there have been times when Nally and I are just like, what the fuck? It's just like, what are you saying? And we are on two fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a common phrase that people will say that we're like, I didn't say it like that, or you try to
You're putting words in my mouth.
You're putting words in my mouth, and things like that. And it's just like, or when they say you're crazy, just like, so we sometimes say things we shouldn't say in a fight. Sometimes we feel crazy when you have a disagreement with someone. There's a disconnect, and when there's a disconnect, it can feel crazy. That doesn't mean people are gaslighting you. It is in fact intent. The intent is It's like the classic one. It's just like, let's say one partner is cheating on someone else. You come home, lipstick on his fucking collar, smells of perfume, 3 hours late, phone was off, GPS location turned off, comes home, and she's just like, where were you? I know something's going on. You're cheating on me. And he's just like, you're fucking crazy. You're insecure. And that person is deliberately attacking and trying to minimize that person. Their intent is to confuse them and to manipulate them psychologically and make them question themselves. That's gaslighting. Being on a different page and having a disagreement with how things played out is not gaslighting.
Yeah, I also think I also think that there.
It's just
I also
not.
think that because I don't think Schwartz is a malicious person. I don't think that. I mean, even Brock in this second part of the reunion, when they're talking about Katie and.
Can I just say, when Brock said this, what you're about to read, I turned to my boyfriend and I go, is Brock like secretly a Shakespearean, like studying Shakespeare? Like,
right, like I agreed with everything he said. I hate that he laughed at the end of it because I think it minimized.
I think he was trying to make it more lighthearted, but I was like,
an awkward laugh.
Yeah,
well, he was like laughing while he was explaining what he said. But again, the way that he articulated himself, I was like, Brock has been brushing up on his reading, or else he's the smartest person on that cast, and I had no idea. I had not given him enough credit.
Because it was picking up from where Reunion Part 1 ended with what Katie was talking about why she was venting to Lala and how she has some insecurities, et cetera, et cetera. And then Brock kind of like leaned back to Schwartz and he said, but you're also the catalyst because you tore away all the confidence that that woman, talking about Katie, ever had in herself after the continuing betrayal of your actual marriage? And then Sheena jumped in and said, you were a shit husband.
Yeah, I mean, Tom was a shit
Facts.
husband.
Yeah. And so again, I don't know if, like, I don't know Tom Schwartz personally, so like I can't say that he's a bad person. I don't believe that he is a malicious, bad person. But I do think that he led Joe on. And then now I do think that like hindsight is 2020. A lot of times you can like rewrite history in your head unintentionally and remember something to be a different way than it actually was. And I think that that's a little bit of what he's doing here. I think that he's like,
Downplaying
I
it.
think that he's misremembering how he treated Joe, and now he's saying
That might be
it was
true, but what are
smaller.
you basing this on?
my gut.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I mean they didn't show us a lot of Joe and Schwartz's
Yeah.
like relationship.
curious-
Everything we've seen about Joe on the show and off the show is like a bit unhinged. It's a bit, when it's clear how Tom feels about whatever we think about whether Schwartz led on Joe while they were dating now. He's been very clear about how he feels about Joe today. And Joe today is still saying things like, I think we're going to end up together. So that same person who today can ignore all the things that Tom Schwartz is saying, he has a literal girlfriend now, and she's still going on public platforms and saying, I could still be with this person. That's delusional. And so that you're telling me that same person couldn't have that same delusionalness. Is that a word? Same delusion?
Yeah, there it is.
3 months ago when they were having sex?
I think it's tough because I think they're both unreliable narrators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like he might have even used her as kind of the catalyst of getting back in the game because remind you that this happened shortly after him getting divorced. So he's been with the same woman for over a decade.
I mean, but also, again, let's not forget, and we heard this from Katie Maloney, Joe pursued Schwartz.
Yeah.
She reached out to Katie, got his number, and was like, hey, I want to come do your hair. There's a lot of shitty men out there, and Tom clearly well documented how he treated Katie, was never there for his wife. He clearly he's a people pleaser to a literal fault. But like Joe was also an adult, and she made her choices, and she got what she wanted, and she is on TV, and she is monetizing her time on television, and she wanted to get with Schwartz. She wanted all this.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing she didn't get was for Tom to like want to date her and be his girlfriend. And like, I don't know.
I'm curious to see what like Bravo, like when she got brought onto the show, was Bravo like, you're being brought onto the show as his friend? Like, I want to know how that conversation started, because I feel like she might
Tom
have
made the mistake of allowing Joe to like live with. I mean, again,
Well, I'm sure
Tom made
she's-
mistakes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But like that doesn't mean that he was just like, you know what? You guys are all suggesting that Tom was just like, you know what? I don't like this person. I'm just going to use her for sex, and I'm just going to have her over.
That's not what I meant. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the times when you're getting out of a relationship and somebody's readily available wanting to be with you, it's
Sure.
obviously an easy choice where it's like, cool, I'm going through a heartbreak. I'm trying to understand what my life is like without this person. It's nice to have a crutch. I'm not saying that he intentionally was like, yes, I want to wreck your life and whatever. I think that he was just like, this is an easy transition.
Sure, but couldn't I make the argument that Tom was also vulnerable coming out of a marriage? I mean, maybe it's his fault the marriage ended, but like that's clearly like a difficult period of time, and Joe pursued him.
It's fair.
Maybe took advantage of his vulnerability and his loneliness. Like, is that possible?
It's absolutely possible. She is selling merch. So
That's again, like, why are we acting like Joe? To me, Joe's just not a victim here, and I'm just so annoyed with the use of these terms and words, and Lala every week. Lala's misdefining a new phrase that like has a much, and that what annoys me about it. And if you've ever listened to the show, you know how much this annoys me, and I'm sure many of you would disagree with what I'm saying. Is that like gaslighting is a real thing? It does happen. It is real abuse, and when it does happen, when you are a real victim of that shit, it does fuck you up. It is really damaging to people's psyche, and this is not what's going on here. And it's just being like, this is two people miscommunicating, not on the same page, not being adults, and maybe Tom probably on some degrees led on Joe, but I strongly feel that Joe led on herself. And I strongly feel that Joe aggressively pursued Tom, who was like, Tom was literally, he came on here and talked about like, listen, like Tom at the end made a lot of bad choices with Scandival, but like whether we think he deserved it or not, like, especially Schwartz off the heels of Scandival. Like, boy, he was public enemy number 2 to Tom Schwartz being publicly enemy number 1. Everyone was telling him he's a piece of shit and fuck this and fuck that. And then here's Joe telling me he's fine, telling me he's cool. Like, is there a world in which like Joe took advantage of Tom Schwartz and his vulnerability and where he was at in his life?
I think she might be a little misunderstood though. And I don't base that in any evidence. I just like something about her. I'm like, I think she's just kooky and like she wasn't meant to be on TV. And I think this amplified
She is
the fact
kooky,
that she was,
and maybe she's not meant to be on TV,
Yeah.
but we have to like hold her accountable for the fact that she wanted to be on TV
Yeah,
and she
true.
chose to be on TV and she fought to be on TV.
but I'm like, under what conditions? Because I'm like, who went out? Like, was Schwartz the one that like initiated this? Was Bravo the one that initiated it? And then
who
like,
cares? She's an
under what-
adult. Why are we acting like these people aren't adults?
no, but I'm saying
I'm
if
just
they
curious to know
if they brought her
who
on
she
as
was
like
before.
a girlfriend, or if they
Yeah.
brought her on as like this love and like is gonna go further, like what was the storyline that she thought she was going into? And then like I can see why she might be blindsided if she thought it was more, you know?
But what? How do we account for her several lives, none of which seem to go well?
No, not at all.
And then she goes back on live. Why? She's clearly not learning from her
well, because she was a
mistakes.
normal person that wasn't supposed to be on TV or shouldn't have, and like obviously she doesn't know how to handle everything that's.
What
come from
about
it.
her is normal?
She seems real to me. I don't know.
My
It
whole
just
thing
didn't
is
She's
like,
real for sure.
I don't
She's
know.
Very authentic.
Yeah.
I do wonder like how she was before this, because I do think that there is something about like people who aren't who can't handle
That's what
reality
it is. That's
TV,
what I'm
going on
saying.
reality TV, and then the aftermath of that.
yeah, but you also choose your friends yourself. So I'm also kind of like, she chose to be around a group of people that are constantly having their lives filmed. If she didn't want to be a part of that, she wasn't forced to be. So it's like that to me would be something that I would take into account, that I'm like, hey, like I don't want to be in the background of your TV show, but like we can hang out one-on-one.
Mhm.
Instead,
Yeah.
she's in the background of season 10, live like with her stuff at
She
his
wanted
house.
to be on camera,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
She needs to set better boundaries.
But I think she's yeah, there you go.
Fall back?
She's so messy because she's not a reality star that knows how to curate her.
I know,
Perspective, like a
maybe so,
perception.
but I think we say that as if that lets her off the hook.
It shouldn't,
and we're
yeah.
supposed to feel bad for her. And Schwartz is supposed to know better because he's been on TV for 11 years. And it's just like, I think we're way oversimplifying this. And it's just like so convenient to like begin because Schwartz is like fresh off his like being a bad husband and being way too loyal to Tom Sandoval that he must be in the wrong, because here is Joe who's sad that she's not with Schwartz anymore, and because she's sad, somehow immediately Tom Schwartz is the bad guy in this, and he must have gaslit her.
I don't know. I am brought back to a couple episodes ago where he asked Katie to have a one night stand, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
What's wrong with that though?
a lot.
An adult man asked, and Katie
like,
said no. I don't
Well,
understand.
because Katie's his ex of
So what?
11 years.
Yeah.
It's not a. I mean, I just.
Yeah.
I know of Kate Arthur. If you're listening, I know she vehemently disagrees with me. But I respect, I love Kate, and she makes great points. But
It's easier for us to look outside of the situation than to like, obviously it always is, than to be in it and have their feelings attached to it. And, then to look back 6 months later and kind of, I mean, everybody does this where like, I'll have a conversation with someone and then like 2 months later, I'll misremember details or like
Sure.
change it in a way to make
Yeah.
it feel like a better situation
We're the
than
hero
it
in our
was.
stories is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure
So-
in Joe's mind, she felt let on. No doubt. But I think she also conveniently ignored statements that he made that clearly made it clear that they weren't. I think she cherry picked moments that she remembered and what he
Mhm.
said. And I think she led herself on.
I think it's hard because they didn't show all the moments of their relationship. It's hard to know what actually happened without having seen it.
Yeah.
And
I just
all
think we
we
need
saw-
to be careful before we start accusing people of words that have real meaning behind them. And they are real victims of these things that we're saying, because this isn't it. It all it does is dilute the meaning of these words. And
It does.
and boundaries are an important thing, and they have real value in meaning. And then when we start just like using the word boundary because we'd rather just not be called difficult, but that's what a boundary is.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we just need to coin new terms to fit the different definitions.
Yeah, it's called having a conversation.
Or just don't use the words at all and just say how you feel.
Yeah, it's sitting down and describing a feeling and articulating it, and then hearing the person out who disagrees with you, and
Just a
not
conversation.
trying to win, but trying to understand.
Mhm.
stuff like that. Anyway, we obviously we can keep talking about this. We will continue to talk about it in reality recap. Remember, it is on Wednesday. There'll be a little bit of bleed over from reunion part 2 to reunion part 3. Either way, lots to get into. We're excited to get into it with you. It is now time to get to Brian Kelley and his wife Brittney. It's a fantastic episode. We are excited to bring it to you. So let's get to it. I would say I'm the quality over quantity guy. That is a true statement. Always quality over quantity. And unfortunately for a lot of clothing brands out there, that is not their mindset. But with Quince, you can get high quality pieces that never go out of style, that can be worn year after year.
Quince has all seasonal must-haves like 100% European linen shirts from $30, performance polos, and versatile flow-knit activewear. The best part, all Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands.
It is really crazy. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to you so that you can enjoy and appreciate all the amazing things that Quince has to offer. Quince also only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices along with premium fabrics and finishes. You gotta love that.
A bit ago, I ordered the Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweater. I've been obsessed with it ever since. It's high quality, it's comfortable, and it's only $59.90.
It's amazing what you can get with Quince, whether it's leather jackets, like they got great stuff for men and women. You can't beat the selection with Quince. Upgrade your wardrobe. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL. Zoa, you've got to check out Zoa. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's energy drink Zoa just launched a brand new campaign. It's all about BDE, Big Dwayne Energy. They've got a really awesome new commercial that you can check out at Zoa's Instagram or YouTube channels. Zoa Energy is a better-for-you energy drink with great taste, electrolytes, B and C vitamins, and zero sugar. It's made with caffeine from natural sources to provide balanced energy with no crash. When you drink Zoa Energy drinks, it gives you Big Dwayne Energy, which gives you the swag, confidence, and energy to help you conquer your day. Here at the Viall Files, my team has loved Zoa to give them the extra boost to get through their days. With ingredients that enhance energy levels, Zoa Energy helps my team find the spark and motivation they need to get their jobs done. They've got 8 incredible flavors like tropical punch, wild orange, white peach, and now frosted grape. My team loves frosted grape and cherry limeade. So get some Big Dwayne Energy and order Zoa Energy today. Available online or at stores near you. Find out where you can find it at zoaenergy.com. And find retailers like Amazon, 7-Eleven, Costco, Circle K, and more. Brian, Brittney, welcome.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great.
It's great to have you guys.
It's good to be here.
You guys are like us. We're Nick and Nelly. You're Brian and Brittney. You got the double B's.
It's kind of a thing.
What's your middle name?
My middle name's Edward.
What's your middle name?
Murray.
Close. See, Nelly and I have the same initials now that we're married.
Oh.
All the way through.
NJV.
All the way through.
Come
NJV.
on.
Nice.
Yeah. So
What's your middle name?
Joseph.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Strong.
Thank you. Yeah. Biblical. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Edward's strong too.
I like it. It's my
Yeah.
dad's name. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
pretty cool.
Brian Edward.
Yep. It's
Very American.
Brian
Very
Edward.
American.
It is Brian Edward. It's some names just go together. Like,
Yeah.
Brian Edward. Like, yeah. That's-
Brittney Murray. It's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah,
Is that a family name too?
it is. It's
It
my
is.
grandma's name.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It got Joseph is not. It's not my dad's name.
I think your mom was just going down the
Bible.
biblical. Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them have.
Well, it's Jesus' dad's name.
Yes, of course.
Well, stepdad.
Well,
Like,
Earthly father.
getting technical. Yeah.
Okay.
How you guys doing?
Oh, doing good, man. Just enjoying our time here. We've been eating the heck out of some food. We've been here for a couple days,
Yes.
and we've been crushing some sushi, making the most of just being out here, and it's been good.
Love that.
Yeah.
You got your cowboy hats on. You got your boots on.
I got it all.
I'm in my cowboy era. I don't know.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
saw the boots.
I got the
Yes.
boots.
I like those.
I had a cowboy hat for a couple days, and then I lost it, unfortunately.
I know where we could get you a new one.
Really?
Yeah, I got some hookups. Yeah.
Okay. Let's yeah. I left it on top of the car and we drove.
I feel like
away.
that's a
Oof.
rookie mistake. He took the hat off to get our daughter out and then kept walking.
Typically, it's like a to-go like soda or something you leave on top.
Right,
But you
right.
left your hat.
Not the cowboy
Well,
hat.
Damn.
You left your hee-haw.
I had only been wearing a cowboy hat for literally a couple of weeks, and as great as they are a bit. You kind of bump your head a lot. They do.
Yeah. Have you traveled with one on a plane before?
Once, yeah.
That's kind of a situation. I've been trying to figure out the best way for years because they make those big, hard, cases you can
Yeah.
put them in. Great protection, efficiency of travel. Kind of annoying because
bit
everybody
high
asks you
maintenance.
like, "What's in that? Can I ask you what's in that box?"
Yeah.
Cowboy
And
hat.
so we started telling him it was like
Yeah.
a little pet hamster, or a gerbil, or a squirrel,
And
like
then
an
he'll shake
emotional
it.
squirrel.
Yeah.
Kind of just freak him out for a second. But I have a backpack now called the Hat Pack. You can
Oh.
fit it safely in the back part of the backpack,
Not sponsored.
but it doesn't leave you with much for like magazines or
Anything
books or
else.
all the other stuff. So
Do you buy magazines?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I do. I'll
you like
buy
a-
some fishing stuff. I'll buy what else will I buy? I'll buy like a architecture, digest sometimes if depending on who's on the cover, if I want to read, about
You
their
want to learn
about
about
their
their
spot.
house?
Love architecture, love real estate,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll check a GQ here and there.
He ain't afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Style doesn't come easy, you got to look for it.
That's what Nally got me into cowboy boots.
They look good.
I'm a bit of a city slicker, as they say. I was.
Those Tacovas?
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to Tacova. They
What
hooked it
do
up.
you have
They-
on?
These
The
are like
Macy's?
no, these are like they're called like Texas boot, I'm pretty sure. I found them at some little mom and pop's Western store about an hour and a half outside of Nashville, Cookeville. BJ's Western store.
Okay. Those look like cowboy. These are like I feel like these are training wheel cowboy boots. They are real. I love
basic.
them. I love
I think
them.
those are fire. Those are
I
my
think they're
favorite
great.
pair are just about look like those. Kind of like light tan.
Very
you can do
versatile.
anything in
You
those,
can-
man.
Anything. Yeah, I wear them every day now. When I first put them on, I was like, I don't know if I could pull these off. But now,
We got those for our welcome party for our wedding, which was on my family's farm in Georgia.
Sweet.
And the theme was country chic. I was like, there'll be a lot of Californians, New Yorkers, Wisconsin people coming. So I'm like, let's have them lean in, wear some cowboy boots,
Yep.
some cowboy hats. So I got Nick a pair of black cowboy boots, and they're like the square toed. And he was like, I don't know about these. He's like, these are
A
different.
little too square.
A little too square.
I wasn't sure, but it seemed to work. Yeah.
But since he's been wearing this, he's like, I can pivot. I'm like, what are you pivoting? What are
Yeah,
you doing?
you can really turn on a cowboy boot. You really,
Oh, you can make it twist
you
a little
really,
bit.
you really can. Yeah,
I agree.
Your spins. So it's really
Watch
easy.
out dance floors. It's wood on wood.
Wood
real
on
slick.
wood.
It's really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started.
Or
you
I
know,
guess leather, maybe.
I'm saying daddy more.
I'm sorry, what?
You said I refer my own father.
Yes.
Not
At our-
like
yeah, I was like, where were we going?
not like a
this is getting
sexual.
weird.
I was like, is this kinky?
No, but
Daddy?
at our welcome party, he was introducing his dad to someone. He's like, "That's my daddy." I was like, "What is
My
this?
daddy.
Who are you?" Yeah, my daddy.
Well, Nally's from the South, and now that we're married, I do feel. I don't know if you guys felt like this when you guys got married, but being from Wisconsin, a city, I was. Wisconsin's got some cowboys, but I was
Yeah.
more the city version of
Mhm.
Wisconsin, whatever that means. I'm not a y'all guy,
Yeah,
But
fair
now
enough.
that I've been with Nally for a few years now, but now that we're husband and wife, I feel like I can now take things from her. And it
Yeah.
feels more
You've
authentic.
You've absorbed the
Like
southern.
I'm allowed
Yeah.
to say y'all
Yeah.
and
yeah.
not have it be like
Daddy.
a bit of a ripoff,
Yeah.
And daddy and daddy.
It's not daddy.
It's not daddy. See, I'm still learning. I'm
You're
still
still
learning
learning.
how
Yeah,
to be
you're
a cowboy. Yeah.
I'm from Georgia too.
What part are you from?
Oh my gosh, it's a tiny town called Flowvilla, Georgia.
Oh.
But like
Flowvilla.
Flowvilla. It's like
Okay.
35 minutes from a Walmart, like the
That
middle of
sounds redneck.
nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started my college out at Georgia Southern.
Oh, okay.
And I used to work in Savannah.
Really?
At the mall, middle of the mall.
What mall? Oglethorpe.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What were you doing at Oglethorpe Mall?
So I was like at this kiosk whitening people's teeth. Yeah. I was the girl that you hated to see
yeah.
coming. I'm like,
How was that getting customers?
Actually, I made really good money.
Oh.
Yeah. I wore like the fake scrubs.
Did you have to stop
Yes.
people at the mall?
Yes. I had to be like, hi.
Your teeth look yellow.
Yeah. I'd be like, have you
I
ever been
need
interested
I
in
need
teeth
good
whitening?
teeth whitening.
Yeah. I could have
Jesus
hooked you up.
She coulda hooked you up.
She's
Yeah.
like,
I think you have great teeth, but they could be whiter.
They could, yeah. I drink a lot of coffee.
That was my pitch, you know?
You've
They
got
could
beautiful
be
teeth,
whiter.
but they could be better.
You have beautiful teeth, but a couple
Oh,
shades,
good teeth are great teeth.
it's over for
Yeah.
everybody when you get white
They
teeth.
probably learned a lot of good sales skills that way.
I
That's
did.
That's real sales work right there.
Yeah. So I did
Truly.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, I'm a Georgia girl too.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got so our wedding was in Effingham County.
Okay, yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun to just have all these people in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
on
I
this
bet that was
animal
beautiful.
farm.
I think you would have been
It was
really impressed,
beautiful.
Brian.
I would have been.
Yeah. As an
Yeah.
authentic cowboy.
That's right.
Yeah.
A beach cowboy.
A beach cowboy.
Yeah.
Any kind of cowboy goes, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you would have been impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was impressed. Natalie did a good job. Yeah. How'd you guys meet?
So I was dating a girl in Georgia back in, gosh,
It's always a
this
great
is
start.
forever ago.
Meetcute. So there's a Souther girl.
Yeah. Well, we
No,
met.
it gets
we met
great.
dating
Yeah,
siblings,
so I was,
it's
I was
kind of
dating a
juicy.
girl, and she lived in Georgia, and so we went to her family Thanksgiving, and her younger brother was dating Brittany, and so that was kind of our first initial meeting was
Oh,
like
wow.
Thanksgiving with the family, and everybody wants it to be like, oh, was it juicy? We were all sneaking off. Was it
Yeah.
love? And like it was nothing like that at all.
We were young. I was 19. You were
I was
24,
25, 26, something like
You're
that.
like, do you guys hate
And-
this family too?
Yeah, we're like, fuck this family.
No, we'd find ourselves hanging out and just like, you know, I always thought she was beautiful, great. She could, you know, she was a great shot with a bow. Just like we got along on a lot of things. She's super creative. And so we found ourselves like just kind of talking here and there, but it was never, you know, romantic or anything like that. And then a couple years later, we both were out of those relationships. And so I just hit her up. I was like, hey, you want to come to a show? And we were so busy at the time. It was kind of the only way I could meet anybody or see anybody was at a show until we kind of got to a point where we had a little bit of free time. But I was like, hey, come see, we're coming through Georgia. And so she came to the show and we were pretty much together ever since. I mean, it was like, I thought, you know, if we're ever single at the same time, I was like, I'd probably marry that girl. Like, she is something special. And yeah.
I didn't know
so-
he was attracted to me. I just thought he saw me as like his ex-girlfriend's little brother's ex-girlfriend.
So when you got that message and you got the invite to a show, did you what did you think he
well,
was asking you?
he had invited me a couple times, and when he was dating this girl, Florida Georgia Line was just starting. Like literally, his ex-girlfriend was like helping make the logo and
Yeah.
stuff. Like it was. So I had kind of been involved in him, you know, starting as a musician. So I just thought, oh, he's just wanting people to come to his show. You know,
He just needs
He just
people
needs
to
people in the
We
crowd.
did need that early on too.
Well,
Yeah.
because there had been a couple shows that we were literally like, as the family, buying tickets and handing
Trying
them
to fill
out
the
on the.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, damn, he's just one, you know, cute girl at a show, you know. But no, actually denied
out-
you a couple times.
Oh.
Yeah, the
But-
first time I was like, no, I'm not gonna name the venue. It was a great venue, but she was like, no, it's not my scene. I was like, okay, sick.
Well, I transferred to the
And
University of Georgia.
I thought about it forever.
So
I
there's
go,
some weird
am I
venues.
not her scene, or is the venue? Is that area
It was-
like I don't? So I let it go. You know.
Yeah,
Then
but then you had the confidence to circle back.
Then I said,
Yeah.
hey, we're actually playing
He
a
caught
show
me in a
out
weak
in a
moment.
field.
We're playing at the Grand Old Opry. What about now?
No, it was out
it
like in a
was-
field, like you know, just
It's
like
actually-
muddy
yeah.
backstage, like just kind of whatever festival vibes.
Like a
and she's
fair or
like, yeah, I'll
something.
be there. I'm like,
Well, my
So-
friends from Georgia were going to be there. So I
Yeah,
was like, I'm going to
true.
go meet up with some friends. And
Yeah.
then he asked me to come to the bus. And I was like, oh, God,
Ooh.
we know what happens there.
Oh
we
my-
know what happens on the bus.
What happened on the bus?
Well, I mean, he tried to kiss me. No, we had a little peck. And then we just literally never stopped talking after that.
Yeah.
And then we got married. We like dated on and off for like 3 months and then got married the end of the year. So
got
Oh.
married
Damn.
December
Like, really
16th.
quick.
So you like short engagement.
yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't even really
yeah.
have a public engagement because we just wanted to keep it pretty private.
Oh,
'cause
shit.
He was on the come up. So we were like, just wanted to keep it to ourselves.
And then everybody thought we were pregnant. Like
I know,
rushing to get
then-
married because we were
yeah.
pregnant, which wasn't the case at all. We were just excited. I mean, you know, I was 28 at this point, and you know, I mean, like pretty much everybody you date around, and you know what you like, and you wait, and you know, when she was single and we reconnected and hit it off, it was like, well, we could just drag this on for a couple years and have a long engagement and do the dance, but we could do it our own way and just like I see the rest of my life. Like, let's freaking start this.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. And also, it was just like to find my partner in terms of love and life and my wife, and you know, in the midst of my business and duo blowing up and just kind of crazy schedule, it was just awesome to have to start our family system at that moment, even because I know probably people were like, why y'all getting married in the craziest time? But it was like, well, it makes the most sense to us, you know? And so it was just clear as day, like what our future was to me and to her too. I mean, it was just like, we can't wait to just get married, start our life, and live the way that we want to live together.
You've been married what since 13?
Yeah.
So like
10
Going on
years.
our 11th year.
Yeah.
11th year.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
we've been married
What
for
did-
like 3 weeks.
Hell yeah. What did y'all do for your 10 year?
We went to Courchevel, France. Courchevel 1850,
Yeah.
and then Val d'Isère as well. So like a big ski trip.
We sound so
Um,
redneck saying this.
We went like a
Sour.
yeah. I probably said it wrong, but
France is in the country.
but it was amazing, man. I mean, we kind of did it up right, and we did a little bit of skiing, a lot of good hang time, did a little bit of shopping, and just kind of kicked it. It was awesome. We did our honeymoon in Bora Bora, and so we figured we did that in the sun, in the sand. We'll go to the snow for 10 years.
Okay.
You know, it was pretty lit.
That sounds pretty lit.
New Year, we spent New Year's there, so got to celebrate New
Okay.
Year's, and
How have you guys kept the spark alive, as they say, as newly married people? I mean, we literally just got back from our honeymoon, so like
I
we
know. Congratulations.
we are
Wait, what?
I can't wait to see what she says.
we have our we are in we just got done with the honeymoon version of the honeymoon
Yeah.
phase. So like it's right now it's just my wife and my husband, and we're so in love.
Yeah.
Are you guys still that? We were actually talking about that. Like right now, when I say my wife, like I'm like excited to say
the
it.
best,
Yeah.
right?
It's like there's a sense of like pride and excitement. Is it still
Yeah.
like my
Oh, yeah.
wife and my husband for you
Yeah,
guys? And then
Damn right.
how do
course.
you, after a whole decade, keep
Well, thousands
present yourself as like a newly married couple?
thousands of dollars of therapy.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I thought
No,
you were about to say
really.
like thousands of dollars. Like
Yeah. Thousands of dollars
He
in
pays
general.
me every day.
You know, he pays me to be happy. No, you know, I know for me personally, I've always been big on mental health, and I was a psychology major, and that for me was big. And I think, just simply put, like, we still play, like we still cut up with each other, and if it gets too serious, you know, kind of break the ice, or just being like, it's not that serious, you know. It's not to say we've never argued or fought, but I feel like one big thing for me is I felt like you're never going to find the perfect person that you're never going to have issues with. You have to find the person that you want to work through stuff with. And we just knew we wanted to like take on life's challenges, you know, because there's always going to be something in the world that, even if it's not you
Mm-hmm.
and your husband or wife, it's the world's going to throw something at you. So it's like, who do you want to figure it out with? And so we just know we want to figure it out, even if we're
With each
pissed
other.
in the moment. It's like, just play through it, you know?
Yeah. My parents celebrated their 50th anniversary last year.
oh, congratulations to
Which,
them.
thank you. I know it was a big deal. We got to celebrate big time with them, and that's obviously, you know, rubbed off on me in a huge way. And to you know, my dad's 81, my mom's 75, and so yeah, it's just special, you know, and to know that that's what we're shooting for. You know, we're shooting for something that these days doesn't happen that much as
Mhm.
much as it used to. And so, you know, my dad always said, you know, love from a very young age, you know, like first relationships, even to getting married, you know, love is like relationships are like a flower, a beautiful rose. Like it needs love and attention, and needs like sunlight, and it needs all the nutrients to help it grow. And you have to
Mhm.
stay on it. You can't just like walk away from it and roll and expect it's going to stay the way it is, or get any better. And so, like Brittany said, we enjoy being married. I mean, like we're like two little kids. I mean, when we go out to dinner and go home and Netflix and chill, and it's just us and the dogs, and we're just very, very grateful to have each other. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, Brittany said, life is going to throw you curveballs, whether that's something with a family member or job, or you just never know what's going to happen. And so to know at the end of the day, like no matter what we go through, we're going to have each other's backs,
Mhm.
whether it's help dealing with, like I said, a family member, or something that's going on in business, or whatever it may be,
Mhm.
getting pregnant, or, you know, whatever that life brings, is just knowing that like, hey, I got your back, and we're going to figure this out together. I don't know. I knew I wanted to marry her. And so like, she's my dream girl. And I'm like, it still freaking fires me up, you know, really honestly.
Aw.
So it's like, I feel like, I just feel, you know, from the moment we got married, it was like, I found my dream girl. We're going to continue to work on our relationship, but it also like gave me confidence to just work even harder, and also like professionally, you know, like just dive in, you know. And so, and the people that were like, you shouldn't get married so young and your career's taking off. It's like,
How old
you
were you
know,
then? You were
Yeah.
25?
20,
Yeah, we got a lot
28
of that.
when we got married, but you know, the amount of time we've been together, and even then it's like we had more number one hits and more successful being married than not.
No,
You
when
know,
you're
so
when
it's
you're
kind
with the
of a-
right person, it gives you a
yeah.
sense of purpose and
That's right.
focus that
Mhm.
you know. I spent a lot of energy as a single man trying to find what I have with Natalie, and I feel like I have a lot more free time, yeah, to focus on this
Yeah.
stuff. rather
And just
than-
the best muse, honestly, when
Yeah.
it comes to
There you
songwriting. And
how many
I-
how many songs have you written about Brittany?
I don't know the number.
Not
but-
enough, apparently.
Yeah. Still working on it. I'll go right when we get home. Okay?
I feel like Florida Georgia Line I took over country music for a long time.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
still is, honestly. And how was that like since you have been there since the beginning? Like what was that like to see him like blow up in front of the world?
I guess since I just knew him as that guy, like literally creating his logo and demos, I don't know, I just saw him as human. So it never to me was like, and I don't really feel starstruck in general by people for whatever reason. I don't know. I was so proud of him for being on such a big stage. But I don't know, when we were together, it just felt so normal and just, I don't know. It
Was
didn't
there a
feel,
moment of like, holy shit, like you just booked this venue or you just
Yeah.
like, this
There were a
song just-
couple, like Madison Square Garden. I remember being like, holy shit, this is like real serious. Like, this is like really big.
a lot of people like you.
Yeah. And then when we found ourselves at like parties, like we were here one time in LA and he had work over Easter and like Cameron Diaz invited us to her house because we had met her with Ashton Kutcher and Mila taking us to a party. And I'm like, what the fuck? Wait,
What are we doing?
I'm not supposed to be here. This has got to be a simulation. Like,
Yeah, a little
you
bit
know,
of a
it's
How's
So-
Cameron's house?
Oh, she
Sick.
was lovely. Yeah, she
Sick.
cooked us like a whole Easter dinner, and I had just read her book like 2 weeks before that, and I'm like,
Are you guys still friends?
I mean, I have her number, but we
Yes,
don't
of
talk. I mean, I would
course.
never,
Remember.
I
How
would
many times
never
have you been-
text
Have you
her.
ever been like, I could call her right now if I wanted to? Like,
I mean,
should we FaceTime Cameron Diaz?
no, she was a pretty pivotal moment for me because I feel like we were probably like 4 years into like the heightened FGL days, and she was just so kind to let us in her home. And at the time, I was feeling very protective of us and our home and letting new people in. And she showed us like such an example of it doesn't matter how huge you are, like you just keep your heart open and your home literally open to like strangers. And I think she like texted me after and was like, y'all are really the salt of the earth, like never lose that. And I don't know, it was just an inspirational moment for me because I was like, wow, she did not have to like let us into her home or cook us dinner or any of that. And yeah, there's been moments like that I'm like, where are we? What are we doing? Why are we?
What did she make for dinner?
She made like this fish
remember what that
plate and all these like beautiful vegetables. And she has like a book called The Body Book.
Yeah.
And she like talks about, eating for wellness and beauty. And she just made everything in her book that I had read like 3 weeks before that. I was like, this is super trippy.
It's wild.
So yeah, there's been moments like that. Like Stagecoach obviously is like a huge show. Being on shows like Ellen and all the late
Mhm.
night shows were pretty surreal. But
Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah.
what do you think it was for you? That was like this. I think I've made it.
Oh man, I mean, there was a lot of points along the way. I mean, you just everything that's coming in and everything that you're doing. I mean, you just really soak it up and like holy smokes, and it just motivates you. All the good things that are happening, you're like, oh, let's double down, let's work harder, let's write more songs, let's continue to invest in ourselves and the live show and the fans. But I mean, there's so many moments. I mean, it was an incredible ride that I'm forever grateful for. And I mean, Red Rocks, one of the best venues probably in America. We did 3 stadium shows with Nelly and the Backstreet Boys, which were pretty sweet. Kind of blending in different genres and different. What I loved about it was the different fan experience. Obviously, we had done songs with both of them, Nelly and Backstreet Boys, separately, but to combine fans and combine forces and show it was just it was amazing. And selfishly, I grew up playing baseball, so to play in a Major League Baseball stadium was pretty sick. To play music there.
What position?
I pitched. I was a
Okay.
lefty. Played all through college, and that's kind of what got me to Nashville. Was the journey of college baseball kind of didn't go like I thought it was going to go, and took me to 3 different colleges. Ended up at Belmont and Nashville, so quite a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
But
So like being a country music star wasn't like your dream job as a kid?
being a songwriter initially, like when I moved to Nashville to finish my baseball career at Belmont, I knew they had a songwriting degree. Entertainment industry studies is what I ended up majoring in, getting my degree in. But I knew I could be there to network and live there after I graduated. And, really I wanted to just be a songwriter. I knew I wanted to put out records at some point one day, whether it was just like a little solo thing or super indie. Like I didn't care. Right out of college, I was really focused on trying to get songs recorded. by other people. And, Tyler and I met kind of last year at Belmont, started writing a ton, and then we just kind of became a duo. Like, it was without even trying. It was just one of those things. And so that took us on a, 12, 13 or so year journey. And so kind of back to, in a sense, kind of back to basics, as a solo artist now, both chasing solo dreams, it's just, it's kind of starting over in a sense, but learned so much throughout the years, of just all parts of the business, the music business, the world, and touring, and how to work through publishing deals and record deals, negotiations, and how to run things, how to be a boss. How do you want your backstage run? How do you want your crew and everybody to treat local promoters and local stagehands? How do we, I grew up playing baseball, travel baseball, and I had a coach for years that was like, we always leave the place better than we found it. And I remember, I thought it was a joke at first, we're having to clean up the dugouts, and don't they have somebody to do this after we win or after we play the game, whatever? And no, it's like, clean up all your, Gatorades and all your stuff. And so we, how do you handle yourself in all these situations that the music business is going to bring up? And so when it comes to that, obviously not a new artist, but getting my voice out there right now and trying to connect with fans, and really enjoying it, and just the freedom to create and to be able to represent me and Brittany and like our morals and our life and what we love is just is a super cool place to be. I loved being in a duo, and I loved playing on a team. Like I said, I played baseball and sports growing up, and unfortunately that came to an end, FGL. And so just enjoying the process, to compare anything that I'm doing to something that was just so extra special, lightning in a bottle, is going to be, I try not to do that. I try to do it in terms of how to operate, but to compare it, it's kind of impossible. So, I take every day by day, and just try to write great songs and try to get out there and work hard, and love connecting with the fans. We played a great show in Sacramento, great festival, and just feel like we're building. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, I'm a builder, I'm a maker, and I get that from my dad. He still loves working, loves scheming, loves being creative. And so I think I'll always do that, and it's fun to watch, every show get better and the band get better and more fans continue to show up, and you feel like you're just constantly elevating. Right. And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
How have you guys as a couple come together with you leaving Florida Georgia Line and like going, having the breakup of the band and doing a solo artist? Like, I'm sure that must have been, I'm sure it's had its challenges, both emotionally. Obviously, you have a lot of great memories from that era, but then like, it's both exciting and scary to probably, try or pursue a solo act, even though you're doing very well. Like, change is always a little bit scary, but how as a couple have you guys come together to support one another in what is probably, I'm assuming, a challenging time, or at least the unknown is always the most scary. What's that been like as a couple?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, in the good and the bad, and no matter what comes at you in life and your marriage, like, from day one of just navigating through a lot of different changes in our lives over the past couple of years, like, she's like, babe, I got your back. And we just put our heads together, we prayed a lot together. We did a lot of work together, with the mental health coach, and just in those times where it seems a little unclear or different than you're used to, it's like, that's when you really need to double down on working on yourself and working on how to process, how to pivot literally into what the next open door is going to be. And so, just a lot of time both together over dinners and walking, working out, and just, talking through things, and just like, hey, we got this. This is just, because, you said when I left Florida Georgia Line, and there's a lot of different things out there, and I didn't really come here to talk, about really the details of that. I kind of talked a lot about it. If I have 1 second to talk about it, for me, I really wanted to do both, and I thought it was a really cool idea to continue to trailblaze for our group what the next 10 years of success or 10 years of FGL would look like. It's important to me to continue trailblazing, and also at the same time honor my voice and my songwriting. And so the goal for me, at the top of those conversations, was really to keep both going, to have an extra outlet for both of us, but to continue with FGL. And so it wasn't really a me leaving kind of scenario, just to clear that up. But Brittany and I putting our heads together and just like, hard work on ourselves, hard work through this situation is going to get us through it, and hard work on songwriting, and just hard work on connecting with the fans, and at the end of the day, you know, we have worked really hard to do our best to navigate, you know, different waters in a healthy adult headspace.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we could hang our hat on, and the hard work and the moving through life in a healthy adult way, you know, with no blow ups, and it doesn't have to be hasty, and it doesn't have to be these kind of things that you read in other people's relationships or things gone sideways. So for us, you know, that's something that we could, even in a time where it didn't make a bunch of sense to us and it was a little unclear and maybe a little sad at times, you know, it's like, well, we can hang our hat on how we respond and how we carry ourselves. So that was like the most important thing. And that's where both of us would just come together and just, hey, we're gonna be cool on this, and we're just gonna keep our heads down, and we know who we are, and God's got us, and the fans got us. And so
yeah, we're really big on perspective too. Like when we start to feel down or like something super overwhelming, just like putting things into perspective. And we would literally talk about our whole perspective, you know, like what's going on with our family. Like we're super thankful we have each other. Like, look, like we are blessed. Like, look what we have, you know, like, and we both grew up in, you know, families that were very hardworking, you know, blue collar families. So it's like, wow, like what a perspective to look at, you know, we have each other and we have a roof and we have food and just the basics, you know, and to be thankful and write down your list of like what we're happy about, what we're thankful for. Usually it kind of shrinks whatever you're like obsessing over, you know?
Yeah, that's great advice. I know like fans, you know, having fans is one of those kind of double-edged swords, you know, like I always remind myself that like fan is short for fanatic, you know, like, and reality TV fans, they can be very fanatic, and you know, it's like you appreciate having them because obviously, hey, who are we without fans?
That's right.
At the same time, like sometimes like fans and can be, you know, and I've learned in the music industry, I think those are some of the most dedicated fans, you know, that follow music.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, you know, obviously with your time in the music industry, with FGL, like, were there difficult moments as you became a solo artist, like having to choose between what rumors to address with fans and what not to address? Or like, did you ever feel like people took sides unfairly, and how have you been able to maintain your relationship with your fans as you've, you know, embarked on this new career?
First off, country fans are awesome. I was literally just telling him this the other day, like, especially on my page, like 99.9% of folks on there are so nice. And even if they are confused about maybe what was going on, they're like, we've got your back, we love you, or we love you both. Like, they're just nice so kind. Really, honestly, like country fans are the best fans. Like,
I agree.
Just to put that out there.
They changed our lives. And they're just, I mean, I'm a country fan, so I feel like that's, I mean, I'm just we're the same people, you know? And so I never want to forget that. I never do forget that. Like, I've been the guy trying to get, you know, Blake Shelton's autograph after a show, you know, like I am that guy. I've been that guy.
What was it like, you know, seeing fans' reactions or whatever they were to like maintain your relationship with fans? Or did you ever felt like pulled in different directions as supportive as your fans were? I just wonder like if that was a confusing time with like worrying about what fans might think or what they might say. And sometimes, we were talking about this earlier, like fans are going to say things and sometimes it's just best not to respond to them, because sometimes when we respond to them, we give it oxygen that it doesn't need to have and things like that. But like that, those are just difficult things to figure out and navigate your relationship with your fans, especially as you become bigger and mature or your career changes and evolves. Like, how do you maintain that relationship?
I thought it was really important to kind of clarify a bunch of things that have been said and kind of offer a timeline and offer my experience and my truth of kind of how things went down. And really one of the main reasons I did that was out of respect for the fans. And that was in myself and our family and my parents and those that know the truth and know kind of how things went down. But at the end of the day, maybe it took a little longer for me to do that, but I'm glad I was patient. It probably wasn't the easiest, but at the same time, you know, it was actually ended up being the perfect timing to do that. And I'm glad I waited. And I think in those situations, you really got to follow your gut.
What was the biggest takeaway of the message that you gave?
I think, you know, there was a lot of talk that, you know, kind of that I had left and that I wanted to do solo. And I also, there wasn't a lot of context and clarity about, I'm a pretty methodical guy and I'm very intentional about all the moves that I make. And so, there was a lot of talk about BK this and BK that. And I really wanted to give some context and say, hey guys, I thought about a plan, that looked like us continuing to go forward. And it wasn't casual, it was like, hey, here's a great idea that allows us freedom to, utilize these songs that may not fit, that we've written that may not fit an FGL sound or an FGL record, but let's get use out of them, because if you love them or I love them, what's the point of them sitting in our little file app and only playing for our friends, right?
Yeah.
So how do we offer our fans a different experience? And so in terms of trailblazing, I thought that was a really cool idea. Like, what if we had a 3-hour set live now going forward for a while that was like no openers? I'm playing some of my stuff mixed in with his stuff, mixed in with 19 of our number ones, like just a different look. And it's all about the fan experience, like I said. So I just really wanted people to hear my heart and where I was coming from. And it wasn't just like a casual, hey, I'm out and some rock star BS. That's not me, and that's not how I operate. So
I think the timeline was really
just
important
the
for
timeline
fans
of people to understand that I wasn't the first one to put solo music out. And, I did initiate conversations back to 2016 about having different outlets. And I thought the more the merrier for creativity. Like, when you're working with somebody that's your brother, it's like, yeah, I want you to win. I want me to win. I want us to win. I want everybody to win. And so I just thought it was really important to clear up and people hear my heart about, like, I wanted to go forward. And I also wanted and needed an extra outlet because, I moved to Nashville in 2007 to chase a dream of songwriting. And God has blessed us. The fans have blessed us. And, I just wanted to be able to share, more songs and whether they were huge or not, it wasn't about trying to trump, anything that I was a part of. It was really just, or really having a serious career. It was really just about, honoring yourself and your calling and just giving life to these songs, man. Like, I love songwriting. I mean, I was messing with songs before I came here. Like, I wake up, think about titles, think about hooks. How can we spin words together? What's the next greatest melody or guitar lick? Like, that's what I live and breathe. And so to be, to limit any artist to just one thing or one avenue, I think no artist really wants to just do that, right? And so but the heart of the message was like I wanted to keep it going, and the timeline, I think, was a huge one, just to put out there for the fans to know, kind of how things evolved into where they are now.
I mean, it sounds genius. It sounds like an incredible idea.
Yeah.
Was Tyler just not interested? I mean, is that,
No,
or was it like
no.
higher ups that were like, maybe we shouldn't do this?
No, he wasn't interested, but I mean,
Teach their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys still cool?
we're both so busy, man. I mean, he came out with a record really right before mine, honestly. And so I know he's been working that. He's been out on the road, and same. I mean, I've been working really hard, even trying to work on some new stuff. So I wish him well. I know he's doing great. And I expect him to have success, and really happy for him. So
What do you guys like to do most together on your free time?
Probably just be outside. We love being on the water, being on the boat, fishing, being out in the woods. We'll go to my family's farm in Georgia sometimes and just ride around, hunt.
pretty
Really
pretty
just
chill.
outside,
I mean,
yeah.
we love good food. I mean, whether we're cooking it or having a little
cook?
date night. She's the boss cooker. Like I'm flavor patrol. I kind of help with.
What is flavor
Wait.
patrol?
I don't know. I
feel
just
like
off
I'm
the cuff
flavor
that.
patrol too.
know?
I'm like garlic salt, more garlic
Yeah,
salt.
that's
in
I'm like,
there.
babe, are you gonna hit a little something?
I'll be in there for
walk
like 2
around,
hours. She's like-
Oh, you taste. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Flavor
I
patrol.
feel like we are. Yeah.
The sous
I'm
chef.
But
the
she
same.
crushes it.
Yeah.
Great sous chef. Great. I'm great at making drinks while she's cooking.
He
Okay.
rolls up the
Enjoy it.
weed so we
There
can smoke
you go.
before.
There you go.
But we have a good time.
Smoke
Like
some weed
our
together?
dogs, I don't know if we've
Yeah.
talked about them yet. I don't think we have, but our dogs are a huge part of our life. I mean, like, just when we're home and they're out running around and just they're so chill. They're, like I said earlier, they're 9 and 10 years old German Shepherds, and they're just amazing. We love playing with them. Sage, Smoke, Stone, and Sunday.
You have 4 German shepherds.
4 freaking German
Sage,
Shepherds.
Smoke, Stone. I feel like Sage Smoke and Stone. Are they somehow? Is that related to smoking?
You know, just depends.
Yeah, they got their names honestly.
Yeah. You're like, what should we name this dog? I'm really stoned.
Smoke.
Stone.
Yeah.
Stone.
Yeah, Stone's nickname is Stoner. One of his like 10 nicknames.
Okay.
4 German Shepherds. That
Yeah.
feels like a
A lot
lot.
of poop. Yeah.
It's
It
a
is,
lot.
We
and
have
you're
2 little
looking at the
Labradoodles, and
poop
there's a lot
count.
of shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a job. A lot of hair,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we've got a good pooper scooper thing. I've got a
Yeah.
little system down to where it's.
He poops and scoops it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's poops and scoops it too. I don't.
I don't mind it.
trust
Here's a
that.
funny story. Before I moved to Nashville, this is wild. I hadn't decided I was moving to Nashville, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I've got 2 more years of eligibility to play baseball. I may go be like a worship leader at a church, like a church plant. And then I saw my parents had shown me an article of a guy that was in Orlando, about an hour from our house in Ormond Beach. He was making like $100K being a pooper scooper. He had his own little business, little truck, and I go,
Just paid up dog shit.
yeah. I go, damn, if he's making $100K, like I could probably make at least 80, maybe 120. Like I'd be really efficient. I love dogs. I don't mind getting it. I just need to figure out where I'm going to take
How
it
old were
once I
you
get it.
at this point?
I was like 21,
that
22.
tracks. I mean, when I was about
know?
that age, you were just always like, how
What's
what
gonna
can
make
I-
me money?
What can make me money? You know,
Yeah,
and
I don't
you
have
were
to work
just
for
like,
anybody else.
yeah, you would hear like these big dollar signs, like I could fucking do that.
I
yeah.
got 100K on that easy. Yeah, like, and then I was like, a couple weeks later, I had flyers made up and everything. I did a bunch of research
Oh my
about
God.
what dog feces does and the runoff and the whole thing. I had a deep pitch on it, right? Then I was like, all right, screw this. I'm going to Nashville. It's
Right
time to
some
chase the
songs.
real dream.
Yeah, you're like, this
I'm
is
going to
getting-
Nashville.
You're
But
like, I'm googling what the color of this shit means
Yeah.
to tell
Right.
the owner
Right.
that they
That
ate
right there is a golden retriever poop.
Yeah.
you're not going to want to have that in your yard, sir.
yeah, yeah. He's been eating berries. yeah.
Did you ever
yeah.
imagine how differently your life could have been had you
Oh, gosh.
followed through with that dream?
Dude, I think about it all the time, man. And that's why, like, I'm a big believer in following your gut because, I mean, I feel like I have my dream girl. We've been able to do some amazing things in terms of career and, like, our brand, Tribe Kelley, and just from a songwriting standpoint and everything we've been able to do. Like, I'm so grateful. It is a dream come true. And to think that one little, no, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to wait a year to move to Nashville. Like all these things, like I
Oh, yeah.
never would have met her, and I can't fathom that life. I just cannot imagine it. So I have a lot of gratitude every morning when I wake up next to her, and I'm like, thank you, Lord, this is not a dream. And yeah, because like lives can change, like the
Drastically.
story of your life from one
I've-
yes or no, or going through one open door that you.
I think about the butterfly effect all the time. You know, I'm,
Yeah.
a,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not a I'm not a big everything happens for a reason guy. I just think we're given free will and we make choices. You know, and there's just like so many like pivotal moments of
Yeah.
like there are certain days in my life. Natalie hears me talk about it a lot. Where just like certain people I met, you know, they didn't. I'm not even like that good of friends with them or we're casual friends, but like had I not met them because they introduced me to someone else
Mhm.
or I haven't gone to this thing, like my life could be so different, you know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
by like certain moments in my life or just I thought I was going to do this other career or
Mhm.
a relationship I used to have that I, desperately wanted to make it work or fix it. And thank God those things, like there's a country song, Unanswered Prayers. Who sings that? Is that
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
right.
good
But
one.
it's so true, It's just all the things that don't that you wish would happen that don't happen. Like your life
Yeah.
could be so different. Like,
crazy
there's
to
so
think
many
about that.
moments
Mhm.
when you go back and reflect.
Yeah.
To that end, are there people in your life that played a huge role in being where you are at today that you appreciate or give credit to that just played either it was advice they gave you or just they introduced you to the right person? Or are there a handful of people that you really appreciate having been a part of your life?
Oh, there's tons. I mean, start with my parents, My dad buying me my first guitar when I was 16 at a flea market. He's like, if you'll play it and mow the grass, I'll get it for you. Continue to mow the grass.
yeah.
But I mean, in terms of, there's so many people, but Craig Wiseman, who's a legendary songwriter in Nashville, owns a publishing company and also is part owner of Big Loud Records now. That wasn't a thing when we first signed with them. But, he didn't he didn't have to write with us. You know, he didn't have to see anything in us. You know, I think he liked a couple of our songs, but him opening up his world, you know, at the time he had a ton of number ones and could have just, you know, had his pick of whoever he wanted to write on any day, really, you know, that kind of situation. And to know that he took us in and, you know, loved interacting with us and loved writing songs with us enough to be a part of signing us. And that's a big deal. I've taken that with me even till today because, you know, writing my record, Tennessee Truth, you know, I told my team, like, I don't want my circle small. It's never been small. Like, I want to continue to grow it and kind of model it after that mindset because you never know who's going to have the next best idea. You never know who's going to walk in with an idea, whether they have something on the charts or not yet. It really doesn't matter. If you treat everybody like they're somebody because they are, it's just a good way to live. And I think there's a lot of great opportunities that can come that way. So Craig definitely song mentor, taking a chance on us. And then, you know, our manager, Seth England, who was our manager for, you know, majority of our career for FGL, definitely played a huge role in a lot of our career in many different ways, from publishing to touring to, you know, but there's so many people on that list. I mean, I think anybody in entertainment or sports, anybody doing anything at a serious level knows that it really does take a massive team, and it takes the right timing and fans. I mean, it's just to hit it like that, you know, it really does take a lot of people. I mean, I think about, you know, back in the day of even leading worship at, you know, college church service, to some of the family friends that we had that were kind of like Bible teachers, kind of helping, and even their encouragement back then before I'd moved to Nashville. Hey, stay on that. Keep playing. It sounded good today. You know, hey, let me introduce you to so-and-so. He plays guitar. Maybe he can play with you and maybe y'all can learn something. And just so many people along the way, friends that helped me, you know, learn chords when I first started playing guitar. Hey, let me show you a couple chords. Let me show you how to work a capo. All these different things. So it's like it all adds up and it all means something, you know.
Is there a song that you wrote that someone else recorded that you like wish you could, like you were like, "Fuck, I should have done that. Like that was damn
No,
good."
I mean,
The Jason song, I wish you would recorded.
no, I mean,
Which one?
Should ask Brittany.
Yeah.
I'll take this
So,
one.
so sorry, Brian. Sorry, Brittany.
Brittany,
Yeah.
which one? You Make It Easy? Or
No,
Burning It Down?
Yeah. 'Cause
Oh.
that was one of the first ones you wrote when I was riding up
Yeah,
to
but-
Nashville.
I didn't care. I mean, honestly, they would have made great FGL songs,
Mhm.
but to me, I mean, I was such a big Al Dean fan. He's a buddy. It felt really obvious. I was like, that'd be sick if it sound good. You know, as like try to put yourself in like a song plugger position. You know, they have there's a position in Nashville called a song plugger. It's like, who do you think would crush this
Mhm.
song? You know.
Oh.
So I kind of
fun
put myself in that position
Yeah.
in a headspace, and it's like Al Dean would crush that. And so he cut 3 songs that we were part of writing that were number ones. And no, I don't really have any of those. I mean, I think right now that I have my outlet, I'd probably be a little bit more. That's not leaving the BK camp. That song's
Yeah.
you know,
hold on to 'em.
certain
Sounds for me.
ones, but no, I'm grateful for everything that's happened every step of the way. Like I really wouldn't change anything. You know, I'd hang my hat on my truth and working hard and hunting down songs every day, and it's just it's awesome, man. It's a great life. Like music leading my life. I'm just really grateful and really happy that, you know, I can wake up and see what idea is going to pop up. You
What
know?
comes first, the song plugging or the writing?
Writing.
Writing comes first.
Gotta have the song, and then the pitches start. You know.
Hmm.
So are there people in the country music space right now that you're really admiring what they're doing, in addition to obviously what you're doing? But are there other artists that you're like, damn, I'm loving what they're doing, and almost, you know, not that you're taking anything from it, but like you're inspired by it?
Let's see here. One of my favorites. I mean, he's not new. I think he's starting to pop even more than he was. But Riley Green. I just like him, man. He's just down to earth.
Can we see him at stage?
He's from Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guy. And I just really enjoy his music. You know, he's got a song, what's it called? Ain't Like I Can Hide It, off his new record. And I just, you know, he is who he is, and there's nothing to hide. And it, like, what he sounds like is who he is, and it's authentic. And I think that's great country music. And so I'd love to work with him at some point. If that never happens, I still want to go to his
No,
farm
that
and
would
check
be
that
a-
out,
yeah,
hang
that'd be an
out,
iconic
ride
deal.
around. But no, I love what he's doing. We've gotten a lot of backstage hangs because we're on the same label. So we'll find ourselves talking, next to each other at parties and stuff like that and just kicking it. And he's just real chill. And I dig his voice and his production. And I just think he's doing it right,
Very cool. Who would you like to see him collaborate with, Brittany?
Oh. Huh.
Oh.
That caught me off guard. Well, Morgan just did it, but Post Malone is one of my favorite artists.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
That'd be cool.
that would be really cool.
I mean, Post Malone.
Yeah.
I mean,
Post
I think he's like so in country music right now. That would be actual possibility.
Yeah, I love Post Malone.
Yeah,
That's great.
he's awesome, just human in general.
Have you had a chance to meet him?
Yeah, we've hung with him a couple times. I just feel like he's so normal too. When you get to just sit down and hang out, you're like, oh damn, pretty cool. But yeah, I would say Post Malone. Good one.
That'd be cool.
I heard you say earlier about what twisting words or something. Is it that like the way you said it? It made me think immediately of "Tourniquet" by Zach Bryan. How he has
Mhm.
that like, if you want to turn and quit, or if you need a
Oh.
tourniquet. Is
Yeah.
that kind of what you mean? Is
Yeah.
that like the turn and?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that something that you kind of think of when you're writing songs? Like, is this like a fun thing to add into songs to get like the fans?
Yeah. Sometimes it slips out. Like you're just stream of consciousness with a guitar, and you're just like it's kind of spilling out, and you go through like your voice memo. You're like, did I just kind of mumble what I think I thought I might have said?
Yeah.
You kind of piece it together, and then sometimes you get like a good line, and you can kind of sit with it and think about rhymes, and sometimes it's a little bit more methodical. But songwriting is such a damn mystery to me still. Like I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I respect the hell out of songwriting, the songwriting game, all songwriters, because, I mean, if we're using my record as an example of just a couple songs, like there's days where I have a title I've saved and I've thought of in some alone time, creative time, I like to call it. Like I have a song called Trucks, Ducks, Bucks, and Beer. And I knew I was going to write that song that day. I saved it for this group and we nailed it. And then there's days where, I have a song called Doing Nothing and maybe another one that I had no idea we were going to write. And it's like, you try to look for the truth and the authenticity in the room every day. And you try not to just rush into like the first idea, unless you just love it. And you're like, that's a banging idea. Thanks for saving your A+ idea. But sometimes it takes like 45 minutes or an hour meeting and hanging with your co-writers to just get through some of the fluff of like, hey, what's good? And it's like, well, hey, I'm actually kind of going through this, or I had this weird thought. What do you guys think? Could this be a title? And just kind of getting into the realness. And so you just never know. I mean, I think, there's songs on this record where, it took a couple hours to get to even like a line or an idea of that specific song. And so I just try to be really patient and think about things and like not rush ideas. I like, as we're writing, and like if it's flowing pretty fast, I try to we try to flow it. But if we get to a stopping point, we're kind of stuck. It's like, all right, well, if we haven't got to the hook, how do you just talk about it? How would this hook land? Do you want to land on the title, or do we need to say something different? Would it be cool to like flip it at the end? There's just different ways to run it. Because once you've written a certain amount of songs, you're always trying to beat your last song and not just keep it to where it's like a little bit of a formula with a little switch up. You know what I'm saying? You want it to be wholly inspired by something fresh. And so I kind of equate it songwriting to fishing. I mean, the more you go, the better you're going to get. You don't always get something,
Okay.
but
There you go.
I know it's crazy, but it is literally, I mean, there's days where you're like, oh, I wrote, 7 songs in a week, and one of them I love for me to like record. Like they're all my babies as a songwriter, and I hope they find a life outside of my artistry and they mean something to me. But for me to put my name on it and to be a part of like a certain record always, isn't always going to land that way. And so,
How are you with feedback? Like, have you ever gone to Brittany and been like, what do you think of this?
Oh, yeah.
And are you pretty honest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not in like a
yeah,
mean
she's
way,
great.
but
Yeah.
just
She's
like
a
I would
great
want someone to be
soundboard.
honest with me,
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee Truth is an amazing album. You should be incredibly
I
proud
appreciate it.
of yourself.
Thank you so much.
How long did it take you to finish this?
I mean, I started writing for it the fall of 2022,
Holy shit.
and then probably stopped writing, April or so of 23, I guess.
It's got to be hard
Or maybe
to like be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. We've got to end it here.
Yeah, I
I've got
kept
to stop writing.
No, for real. I mean, I
keep messing with it. if
Yeah.
you
I
wanted
could tweak
to.
on it. I could still be tweaking on it, adding, vocal ad libs or adding another guitar.
Do you
part,
ever do
but-
that like on live shows where you almost kind of play around with your songs, where you maybe put a tweak in here or there
Yeah.
live that
Yeah.
you wouldn't do it on the album?
Yeah, and sometimes that happens naturally because I mean sometimes depending on the song, maybe the last session that you do with a song or two on it is like, all right, the record's done. These are the last two songs, and we need to get these done. There's not much time to live with them, and then we got to get this record out. So there's things like you try to think of like, okay, last chorus, like vocal moment. You create it like, what would I want to do here live, or like have the last chorus change. In this moment that's different than the first and second chorus. And sometimes, you get a good one, but then after singing it live, like a bunch, you're like, oh, I should have made the record like what I'm doing live now. I switched it up. It's maybe a little bit better, but I think that's cool too, to kind of test things out, but definitely could still be tweaking on it, but I love it. I mean, there comes a point where you have to just like let go and you're like, all right, this is going to do whatever it's going to do. I can't control what people are how they're going to react or how fast they're going to react, but typically like when the team's like, hey, this is great, it's done. And I worked with Dan Huff, who's a legendary producer and somebody that I really, really trust. And he was like, man, this sounds great. Like, I think we're good. I'm like, all right, hell yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
You just leave it.
What
is a bad habit that both of you have helped the other person get better at?
I know where this is headed.
I called you.
And I don't know if this is a habit more than something that's just happened the past year, but apparently,
What, your toenails?
no.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Ick.
Oh my God. What is
Ick.
going on with your
Brittany,
toenails?
I don't know what
Look,
she's
he's
talking
gonna
about.
get red.
No. Somehow I've started snoring a little bit.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go there.
Well,
Oh.
I'm sorry. What is wrong with your toenails? Are they like?
don't know.
He just doesn't cut
long, or
'em.
You don't cut
Oh
them.
my
I've taught him
God.
how.
You don't cut them.
Then he'll ask me to cut
yeah.
them.
She's
Oh my
got
God.
real sensitive legs.
I
if
will,
like
I will
anything
rip my
touches
toenails
them,
with my fingers.
No,
she thinks I got
That's what he
scrapey things
does.
on my legs. Like if I
he
barely
rips
touch
them
it.
into like a point.
Yeah, sometimes I'll
And
just,
then cuts you.
That's
no, if it
hilarious.
gets long
He's
enough,
like,
I'll just kind of like try to, rip it off. And,
Shoo,
Gross.
that gives me the ick.
Yeah. Disgusting.
No, I have
Major
some
ick.
gross
Wow.
ones.
He also, while we're on the subject, he also will bite his fingernail off and then pick his teeth with that
Okay,
fingernail that
first
he
of all,
just chewed
I
off.
don't
No,
know.
and you do.
No
And you do.
No
And
way.
you
A
do.
2 for 1?
Ooh.
2 for 1. A 2 for 1.
It's more of like a MacGyver situation. Like sometimes if I have something in my teeth and I have nothing to pick it out, then I have to MacGyver it.
MacGyver would have done that.
Yeah, MacGyver
Oh,
would have done
no.
that.
That makes sense.
Also, I just
Oh,
want to
no.
point out, and I know it's a disgusting habit, but as someone who bites their nails,
They are very even. He does a
Okay,
great
there's-
job.
Those do look
I see
pretty good.
one.
Brittany's like, I don't know.
You spend
I
some
haven't
time
been to
on-
the personal manicurist in a while, but like that's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
You're disgusted.
Yeah.
aren't you?
It's fine.
She's struggling.
It's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. What is Brittany? Is she, or she's just perfect?
She's pretty damn perfect.
Yeah.
I haven't shaved my legs. Maybe that. Maybe one of those.
That's not
I
a
literally
bad
just
Like,
looking
I'll
under this
help you.
light and I'm like,
No,
oh
it's-
shit, Nick's probably looking
Your
at my
bad
leg hair.
habit is not shaving your legs every day.
Let's see here. She's pretty on everything. I mean, she's pretty on it.
Okay.
I mean,
You can hit me with it.
I don't really have anything to. Is there
Really?
anything you could think of that
About
I'm not?
me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the idea is that you've helped this person
okay.
with it, so it would potentially not even a bad habit.
Maybe something they used to.
Used to.
Hmm.
He actually helps me not like talk so much shit that like I used to talk. Like I'll bring something up and be like, "What did you think about this situation?" He's like, "Well, they may have been having a bad day or this or that," and I'm like,
Kind of boring.
"You're right.
Yeah.
Let me put myself in check."
yeah.
I was just trying to,
Do you,
Talk
Trying to
some
talk
shit.
shit with you, but
That's
you're
hilarious.
right. I'll
do you
be a
like
better
to gossip
person.
sometimes?
I don't like to gossip. I like to chat about facts.
Oh,
Okay.
Love.
So
Love.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we love to chat about facts
Love
too.
to
Yeah.
chat about facts.
To reframe.
Yes.
Right.
We had.
I like
I'm
facts
going to
as
put you
well.
on the spot here since we love to chat about facts. But do you have any facts about, you mentioned that you're friends with the Cyruses.
Oh,
What is,
yes.
what is going on with that love
Oh.
triangle?
I can't comment on it.
Oh, okay.
She cannot chat about facts.
I'm
Cannot chat
Brandy's
about-
my girl. Tish is my girl. You have
Well,
to
I don't
ask
want-
them.
I don't
They
want-
would love to come on, I bet.
Would they love to come on and
I
talk
bet
about
they
it?
would.
I bet they
Okay.
would.
Brandy and Tish would so love to come on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Will they answer those questions?
They might.
They might.
I mean, I think
do
I
you
think
know
they
the
asked-
tea?
I cannot confirm or deny. I'm a loyal friend.
Look at
We
her
love
go.
that. Okay.
Good.
She is.
She's a safe.
Okay.
I'm a safe friend. Yeah.
I mean,
Like if y'all told me something off camera and you're like, I don't want anybody to know this, I really wouldn't.
okay.
Maybe with him. I would try to talk shit with him, but then he'd be like, they're really good people.
yeah. He's like, come on. He's like, but Nick's fingernails.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, Nick's so fucking gross. His
Whatever
fingernails.
keeps the convo from my toenails, this is great.
yeah. Let's just not circle back. yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so nothing. Okay, we won't.
It's hilarious.
Were you at the wedding?
No, I wasn't at the wedding. It was very private.
All right.
Yeah.
right.
Didn't make the cut.
Were you mad about
Oh.
that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh my God, I had such a good question. Now
What?
it's gone, but maybe it'll come back after our caller. 'cause
Oh,
our
is
caller's
it time for
here.
texting office hours?
Oh.
All right. Are you
Texting
guys
office.
down to give some
Are
relationship
you going to
advice?
be able to take like how we had all over?
Yeah.
Oh.
Go like this.
I'm gonna
They
do
just
a-
you can go.
It's a
you
part
can
of it. From the
put
back.
I'm
cans.
gonna do. Oh yeah. Oh. A
The new
ball
hat.
cap.
Or
No, we
you
got
wanna
that
do
right there.
Yeah,
We're good right
Golden.
there.
yeah
I
that
am.
works.
Yeah.
I'm rocking.
Yeah, buddy. Are you sick and tired of your old workout gear? Do your gym shorts have a few holes in them? Are your leggings starting to pill a little bit? Yeah, that's the worst. Well, I have a suggestion for you, and it's Viall. Viall makes absolutely amazing and versatile athleisure wear. Everything is designed to work out in, but doesn't look or feel like it. It's so comfortable that you'll want to wear it all the time. Honestly, it's probably comfortable than whatever you're wearing right now. Their clothing can be used for any activity. Use Viall for running, training, swimming, yoga, but also lounging, running, some errands, grabbing coffee. They've got the women's performance jogger. They're the pants you'll never want to take off. The performance joggers have a slim but relaxed fit with a slightly cropped leg, side pockets, and a drawstring. What more could you ask for? Designed with the softest premium dream knit stretch fabric, they also have the women's daily legging, which has a breathe interlock fabric that will make you want to wear them every day.
And don't worry, ladies, if you're looking to upgrade the men in your life's workout wardrobe, well, they also have the men's core short, which feature a classic athletic fit falling just above the knees with an anywhere and everywhere versatility. You can even go commando in confidence with their breathable boxer brief liner. Viall offsets 100% of their carbon footprint, and since 2019, they also offset 100% of their plastic footprint.
Viall is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viall.com/VIALL. That's VUORI.com/VIALL.
Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to viori.com/VIALL and discover the versatility of Viall clothing. Helix! Well, we were out of town for a while on our honeymoon. We were in New York, and it was all fun and all and great. And we stayed at a really nice hotel, but you know what they didn't have? They did not have a Helix sleep mattress.
They did not. And we talked about it. We were like,
did.
we cannot wait to get back to our Helix
We
sleep
literally
mattress.
talked about our Helix mattress on our honeymoon. That's how much we love it. Can't say enough of great things about Helix Sleep. Every mattress in the world should be Helix. And if you don't have a Helix mattress, you are what are you even doing? Like, are you not listening to what we've been saying all these years?
My brother just texted me yesterday. Him and his wife bought a new house, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get you like a housewarming gift. Like, what can I get you?" And he's like, "Well, we're doing this." And he was like, "We need to find a new mattress." And I was like, "No. I need to buy you a Helix mattress. We have the Moonlight mattress. You need it. It's the best thing ever." And so I did just that. And I used our code.
They also have their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collection, the Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kid mattress, designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep experts.
Helix knows there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. That's why they offer a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. Don't want to take our word for it? Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress picked by GQ and Wired Magazine. It is even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep.
But really, just take our word for it. Trust us, buy a Helix mattress. Either way, Helix is offering up to 30% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/VIALL. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long with Helix. Better sleep starts now. How's it going?
Going good. My name's Lindsay. I'm 28 and I'm calling in today for advice if I should stay in my marriage or if I should walk away.
Okay. It's a big one. Why are we, how long have you been married, first of all?
We've been married 3 years or 4 years this year and together 7.
Okay. And why are we considering leaving?
The top reasons are it feels like we're fighting more than getting along. Our parenting styles are causing some issues in the relationship for sure. And I think there's just like a lot of built up anger from both sides.
Okay. So you have kids?
Yep, 3 of them.
3 kids. Okay. What is his parenting style and what is yours?
I would say I'm more of like a laid back parent. I'm pretty open with my kids. I let them come to me with anything. Not necessarily to the extent of like crazy gentle parenting, but I would describe myself more that way. And he's more authoritative and wants to toughen the kids up for the world and has that look in life.
Can't you guys like find the balance? Because like, I think, aren't there benefits to both, you know? Like, you know, like, I mean, Natalie and I, our daughter's only 4 months, right? So right now she's just a cute little baby who eats, sleeps, and shits. But like early in her young life, it's been like interesting to and we've talked about this, like it's been interesting to kind of see how she interacts with River or I do. And obviously early on, Natalie has the very protective motherly instincts. And I'm already thinking about how I'm going to toughen her up for the world and like what lessons I want to teach her. And I think they both like have value, but like, why do you think there's such a disconnect with you and your husband?
I think we've definitely like taken that approach where we're like, we both have some things we bring that are strong to parenting. I think it's just like a little easier said than put into practice when parenting things arise. Our kids are varying ages now. I feel like he just is so quick to anger. Like when they do something that I view as them just being children, he's just so quick to anger. And then it upsets me and it escalates from there.
Gotcha.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Have you ever brought in a professional like to help?
We haven't. And we have talked about that. We just haven't ever done it.
Okay. You kind of almost seem a bit checked out. Like, do you want to save this marriage or are you looking for permission to leave it?
I've been asking myself that too. And I think my reasons for staying right now are solely like kid-based. And I've been asking myself a lot lately, like, that's not a reason to just stay forever because our kids are going to grow up one day. But I don't know. True. That's just going to go back and forth in my head a lot.
But also, your kids are only seeing their parents fight. So is this something that they're going to think is normal? You know, that's a question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah. We've talked about that. Like, do we want our kids to think this is what marriage looks like? And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't want them to see it like this.
The disconnect that you and your husband have been experiencing, how long have you been experiencing it? Was it before kids or after kids?
After kids, for sure.
And do you feel like, we're not blaming your kids, but do you feel like the responsibility and everything that comes with parenting is part of the reason why maybe you guys just kind of lost that connection, you know?
I think it definitely plays like a huge role in it for sure.
Okay. Have you guys talked about any, like, you know, to Brittany's point, like, what have you guys done to try to fix the marriage? Because, yeah, I mean, all the things we mentioned, like, yes, like, kids aren't a reason to stay in a marriage, right? Like, solely, right? You can still be good parents separated, you know, sure. And you don't want, you know, that's not fair to the kids to just be two miserable people together. But at the same time, you know, are there aspects that, you know, you guys could work on that you haven't tried yet that might, you know, bring things back together, you know? Because I guess what I'm saying is, like, you guys could get divorced, you could start dating, you could meet someone else, you go through the honeymoon phase, you'll fall in love, you'll be excited, and then I don't know if you and your next partner decide to have more kids or not, but other things will come up, and there'll be other things that will come in between you guys, whoever your next partner is. And like Brian and Brittney talked about it before, just like a big part of just being in a relationship is this, like, choosing to work on that relationship every day and choosing to figure out ways to be and stay connected. And, you know, it sounds like you guys stopped doing that. So I guess if I were you, I would be wondering, like, what could we or I have done differently? Because, like, I guess what's going to be different in your next relationship? Because problems in any relationship always come up. And if you don't do anything to address them, then, you know, you're still going to find those moments of disconnect.
Right.
You know,
I think like some of it is I'm trying to decide, like, how do you let go of the resentment to like move forward?
I would highly recommend an intensive week between you and your partner with a professional, because, you know, I've gone through probably 4 intensives now. I know we've gone through intensive together, and also maintain our relationship with a mental health coach. And something really huge for us is making sure we're on the same page with our whole perspective. And obviously your whole perspective changes as you grow up, and especially if y'all weren't fighting as much before as you are now, your perspective has changed. You've brought in new humans, and really reflecting on, I think it's easy to point the finger at the other person and say, oh, well, you're doing this. It's not the way I would do it. But sometimes you have to reflect in on yourself and say, well, why do I want to do it this way? And as cliche as it is, you have to kind of dig into your childhood. Well, how was I raised? And why do I feel this way? And then, have some empathy for the other person. Well, why does he feel this way? Did something happen with his childhood or in his adolescence? And really having a professional step in and having some like undivided time with each other to really take inventory, is what we call it, about what you both want, because I'm sure children thrown into the mix is very confusing, in a sense of what do we both want individually and then together and then for our family, because those are 3 different things. What do I want? What do I want for my husband and I? And then what do I want for our family? And so like taking some like serious undivided time away from your phone with a professional, taking inventory, creating your whole perspective. And that way, when you get in these tiffs, you can step away from the kids and say, hey, like, does this fit our whole perspective? Us arguing? No. Okay, well, we know we want XYZ for the kids. How do we get there? And just forging your way through, because even when the kids are out of the house, there's still going to be stuff that comes up that you're going to have to collect inventory on and go back to this whole perspective. But if you have a filter that you can run every single issue through and say, does this work in our whole perspective? Then you can kind of come back to reality and weed through some of the emotions. And then also if you can, I know when I blow up and I'm mad, it really does reflect on me and my experiences. Even if he makes me mad or he says something, whatever emotion that's eliciting from me is because of something I've gone through. So it's like you both taking the responsibility to take your own inventory when you're feeling, we call it the crazy train. When you hop on the crazy train, it's like, well, why am I hopping on this? Or why is he hopping on this? Can we talk this out? And when you can have some of this same language, then you can kind of get back to like even ground. And then if you can just have this whole perspective that you both want to reach, then it feels, even if you're fighting, it feels good at the end, because you're like, well, we both want to be here. We both want to do it, So like professional help, undivided time together, collecting inventory, creating a whole perspective. There's a really great, my mental health coach, her name's Lori Jean Glass. She has a book. It's great. It's called #HealthyAdult. And I would highly recommend that. Everything you're saying is normal. And, getting more information and knowledge about how to be a healthy adult is so important, and creating your whole perspective and really reading that book. You guys could probably do that in your own home if you can't make it out to see a professional.
Are you and your husband on the same page in terms of where you're at with your marriage?
I think we both know it's kind of like we either get help and fix it now, or it's not going to work out. I think we both are hoping, but I think we both have the same hope in terms of like we're fighting because we want to grow up with a family in the same home. And I think we could get back to a good place, but I think it's going to definitely take like a lot of work.
Sure. I mean, marriages take work,
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, that a lot of your frustrations with each other have to do with parenting. It is kind of, I don't know if the ironic's the right word, but that's kind of the one thing that, like, if you guys get divorced, you'll both still be parents. And you'll have even less of a say on how they parent. That's not a reason to stay married. It's just kind of ironic that the problem or your frustrations you have with each other won't solve themselves, because he'll be able to parent how he parents when he's with the kids, and you'll do your thing, and that might get even more confusing. So if so much of your disconnect and frustrations is around how you guys parent your kids, it's kind of interesting that
it's almost worth going and getting the professional help, even if you
Like,
get a divorce, you can still communicate.
Yeah, because that's another thing. If you guys even decide to leave the marriage, you guys are still like, divorce or not, you guys are still in each other's lives for the foreseeable future. And you're going to have to work together even as a divorced couple. So figuring out the tools of how to better communicate,
Mhm.
you know, of how to work as parents, whether it's as a married couple or as a divorced couple, is super important.
Mhm.
And a mental health coach or just some sort of, you know, couples therapist or, you know, someone who, you know, specializes in that department can, if nothing else, give you guys tools of how to better communicate as parents so that you can more effectively make your kids feel loved or, you know, experience less frustration with mom and dad and things like that. And within that, yeah, there might be lanes of you guys just connecting as husband and wife. But right now you guys are just sitting and doing nothing, kind of wondering if you should just not stay together. But it feels like it's at least worth a shot to try to see if there's something there and be open-minded, you know, at least go in saying, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, I just want to echo kind of what everybody said, and I just want to encourage you to get with a marriage professional or a mental health coach and just be able to communicate together. And obviously, y'all are both care about your kids and you care about your marriage. It's just about setting aside time to get on the same page and putting in the work to do so. You know, Brittney and I have been married. We're going on 11 years, and you know, we put a lot of work in, and we will continue to put a lot of work in because it matters to us, you know. And so, yeah, I just want to encourage you, put some work in and don't give up. You know, I think you'll be very proud of what you and your husband can accomplish when you put your heads together and your time together and really just focus on a healthy line of communication. I think that'll get y'all on the same page, and because you obviously, like I said, care about your kids. It's maybe it's a different parenting style, but that's okay. You know, in a healthy space, y'all are going to be able to communicate and find a way to meet in the middle. You know, my parents had different kind of ways of raising me and my sister, and it ended up working out good. You know, they've been married they're going on 51 years being married. You know, and so that's something really, really special, and it doesn't come easy. You know, they had their ups and downs, and just, you know, figuring stuff out and always loving each other at the end of the day. You know, never try to really go to bed mad and, you know, all that. But I just want to encourage you. I think you got this. You know, just set aside time for y'all to get back on track. And yeah.
I appreciate that.
You mentioned you asked how do you let go of the resentment? What do you resent most about your husband in this moment?
I think like that he doesn't see how much I do.
Okay.
Every day.
And do you feel if he were here, what do you think he has the most resentment about you?
I think he would think that I'm not appreciative of what he does.
Well, at least you guys share your resentments, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic that you say that though, you know? And it's probably both true. You probably are both doing a bad job of making the other person feel appreciated because you're probably both focused more on making sure the other person appreciates you.
And that's like why the undivided time is so important, because really so many relational issues come down to not feeling seen and not feeling heard. You know, it sounds like
we're both at that point and just like we'd rather spend time apart because it's easier. And I think that's kind of where our disconnect is now. Like we're just like, it's easier to be apart. We're not fighting. But I understand like that's not working.
Yeah. I mean, don't say anything you don't mean, but maybe when you get off the phone with us, think of something you appreciate about him or that he's done. Send him a note and be like, hey, I know we've been through a lot. I know we're at each other's throats, but I just want to say I really appreciate blah, 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 whatever it is. I mean, especially when it comes to guys. I said this earlier. Guys are simple. And if you just make a guy feel appreciated, they'll move mountains.
Words of affirmation.
It's like they're very simple people, men. And if you pat them on the back and say thank you, you're the best, they will do a lot of shit, you know. And so just think of something, even if it's a small thing, and just out of nowhere, surprise them with a little bit of like, hey, I think in this department, I think you do a great job, and I'm grateful or thankful, and I don't say that enough, so thanks. And when you say that, don't send it immediately wondering what he's going to say back. Send it without him owing you anything. Yes, it'll be nice if he returns in favor, but you I think usually when couples are at this stage that you guys are at, it's a lot of like, well, what have you done for me? You know, and you guys are keeping score, you know, and it's just like, well, you did this and I did that. And well, you haven't done anything nice for me, so I'm not going to do anything nice for you. And you guys need to let go of that scorekeeping. And then you need to start thinking about like, just say something fucking nice and see what happens.
I'll try. I'll for sure try it.
All right. And if nothing else, take Brittany's advice. I mean, you guys owe it to each other and your kids to at least try to see if, you know, people who actually specialize in this stuff can have a positive impact on your marriage. And at least if you guys decide to get divorced, at least you guys can get divorced knowing that you tried everything, you know?
Right.
And if you get divorced, at least you can like still hopefully learn some tools to have an effective relationship with each other, because you're still going to have one because you're going to be parents to the same kids. And you at least owe it to them to try to have at least the most productive relationship possible, whether you're married or not.
Right. That's all good advice. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, keep us posted what you decide to do. We would certainly love an update.
All right, I will.
All right. Well, take care.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that's sad. Hope they at least go try.
They need a good intensive.
Gotta try.
What's
for
an
sure.
intensive, Brittany?
I mean, it just depends. You can do like a weekend intensive or a week intensive, and you just usually go out and.
But is that like a specific class? You say intensive.
Is this like ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Well, no, but you could do that too if you want.
Okay.
No, it's just, you know, sitting down with a professional and usually typically like a spot in nature. Like I know our coach, she's up in Petaluma in Northern California, and it's just getting really uncomfortable about not only yourself but each other, and just a moment and without, I know it sounds crazy, but like without your phone. Usually in intensive you can't have your phone at all. You have to check it in, and being away from your phone and just all the distraction of what I need to do, and really just focusing on really yourself, because a lot of an intensive is reflecting on yourself, and it's really uncomfortable. And then coming together and reflecting on really uncomfortable things.
Is that something you guys got into just because you have a general interest in the field, or was there a point in your guys' relationship where you thought we could benefit from this?
For me personally, I went through some pretty traumatic things when I was 17. So I was on my own at 17, and I just wanted to go in the field of psychology to like understand what had happened and really set myself up for good relationships, just not only with a partner, but with friends and family. Like family was really hard for me to navigate. And when we first got married, I had already had a lot of therapy to where I knew some things that I was uncomfortable with, like, you know, we fight jealousy or, you know, just differences in general. I could feel some things bubbling up. So I just wanted to get therapy together and separately. I know for me, like I worked on, he was already such an emotionally intelligent man, and having great parents. He didn't have much to work on, but
Just my toenails.
just his toenails, really.
Yeah.
But I needed him
Hands
to like understand where I was coming from and some of my life story and why I was reacting the way I was reacting to some things. And so like I told her, it's like, most of the time when you have like this feeling, whatever it is, it's from your life experience, not because of what he did, you know. Maybe he said something that irritated me that wouldn't necessarily irritate you, but it irritated me because it reminded me of my dad or something that was said to me, you know. And so just, I personally think I think the world could have peace if everybody just went to an intensive a couple times. Really.
Brian, were you, when she brought this idea to you, were you like, I don't know, were you like, listen, babe, I trust you, let's do it, whatever we got to do?
No, I was down. I mean, to do it, you know, I thought anything we could do to, like, we were doing great. I mean, there's just maybe a couple things.
Well, like
but,
men are such fixers, you
yeah,
know, so it's
it
like
was easy for me to just like, hey, if it's our relationship, that's the most important thing. Like, if there's anything I can learn, be a better husband and learn more about you. And also, like, no, at the end of the day, like, I can learn more about myself. I can take what I'm learning from this relationship and how to navigate different things into like business relationship. You just learn so much. So like, yeah, it was an instant, like no doubt about it. Let's do it. And then we've done a family intensive or two.
yeah, like even
over
when
time,
things are
you
great,
know,
like
with,
we're like,
extended family members,
yeah,
which I thought was really cool. And you just see the work working, and it's encouraging. And it's like, yeah, I'll take some more of that for sure, you know? And you kind of, I mean, Brittany has kind of said this, but you have these tools that you can use once you learn them. You have like this like tool belt of
Sure, yeah.
mental health. It's like, oh, cool, sick. Like I can take a deep breath and figure out like how I can react to this and how reaction is everything or not reacting or just
Well,
like,
yeah, it's like that's part of
You
kind
know?
of growing up and becoming more emotionally intelligent.
right.
And instead of being like triggered and then reacting,
Yeah.
it's like being triggered and going, okay, wait, hold on. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
can I respond differently?
Right. Yeah, like I used to get mad and be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like
Yeah.
in my car,
Oh,
leaving,
yeah.
will not come back
Like,
ever. You'll never
Yeah.
see me again.
Yeah.
You're
So,
a
But-
fighter.
Yeah. And so just to be like, okay, well, this is where this is coming from. Let me take a moment, give me a 2nd.
Mhm.
Like you can't fix it right this second. Understanding, recognizing, and then, having the right communication style. It's like you should always be able to find your way back to even ground,
where do you think your emotional intelligence comes from, Brian? Because I mean, as
Mm.
much as it seems like you and I are enlightened men, I don't feel we're the majority. I think there's a
Mhm.
lot of men who, especially I don't know exactly how old you are, but like I think younger men are more comfortable with like mental health and things like that. But I think a lot of guys are still very resistant to the idea of therapy or couples therapy or things like that.
Mhm.
Where do you think your comfort level and your emotional intelligence comes from?
That's a good question. Maybe my parents. I mean, for sure, I could start there. Maybe just playing on a bunch of sports teams and over the years, just being around a lot of different things and a lot of different people and types of people and just trying to stay true to yourself, like and who you believe you are and who you really are and not trying to let, allow the world to get the best of you. I've done a lot of soul searching over the years, in terms of how to be a better person, how to exist, in a happy space. And I think, years of, just whether that's being a worship leader, being pretty involved in church and, having a faith that is part of my everyday life, I think definitely has helped me continue to shape who I am. Nobody's perfect, but you always try to wake up and be a better person than you were the day before and try to attack things in a higher level of emotional intelligence. And I'm not sure if I have the exact answer of why or how I landed this, and I'm still trying to figure stuff out. So by no means have I got everything figured out, but maybe just my life experiences all kind of together, I guess maybe. But you take it as they come. I mean, life will throw you curveballs like we've talked about, and so you got to take them in stride, and it's important. I don't know. There's just a time in life. Maybe it's just watching my parents, but like how to handle yourself and like trying to be a good person and trying to put good, positive things out in the world, and so that's kind of like my viewpoint and my landing page of like trying to give back, trying to work hard, trying to be good to people, try to create a sense of community and what we're building. And also just being a student of the game, like I talked about being a student of songwriting, like, when she brought up having an intensive or bringing a family intensive or reading a book or talking to our mental health coach through a transitional time of my career, like maybe it comes from being an athlete and just like, yeah, I'll take that. I want that strength coach, or I want to learn a different pitch, for my repertoire. And so taking it into like the mental health space, emotional intelligence space, I think like definitely willing to always upgrade. And I just think it's all about personal happiness too, like if
Mhm.
you're aware of people's feelings and the emotional intelligence aspect, like you just want to try to always upgrade that if you can. So just trying to figure it out, honestly,
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's inspiring. I always ask men because it's just like I think it feels like women are always more willing to tap into that emotional side and to work on themselves. And some of us men are, some are pretty good, some less resistant. We talked to a lot of women on the show, and a lot of them are like, I'm trying to get my husband into couples therapy, but
yeah. You got to
you seem-
compare it to like the gym. It's like your brain's a
Yeah.
muscle. You got to work it out to
Yeah.
get a bigger brain,
There
and
you
then you're
go.
good.
There you go.
Just compare it to the gym.
Did you think of your questions?
I think honestly they're just all about Tennessee Truth. I have so many questions
Sick.
about it. Kiss My Boots is one of my favorite songs. I
Thanks.
think what was your inspiration not only behind the album,
Mhm.
but the name? I feel like you've talked a lot about your truth
Mhm.
today. So what does
Yeah.
Tennessee Truth mean to you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of Tennessee truths. I mean, to kind of start at the top, my dad, we have a ton of Tennessee roots in our family. And so he was born in Palmersville, Dresden, in 1943, moved to Nashville when he was like 2 or 3 years old. He actually went to Belmont way back in the day where I graduated from. I've got aunts, uncles, cousins all out in Hendersonville, Gallatin area. So when it was his 80th birthday last April, we went out to his farmhouse. The farmhouse wasn't there, but we got to go stand on his old land and to see how special that was for him at 80 years old. And he wasn't even there that long, but he had been wondering about it. So we contacted the Historical Society lady, and she helped find where that land would have been. And he was like a little kid out there, it was emotional, special. And that just hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting and didn't know I needed to see that. It was really cool. And so that element of Tennessee Truth is like paying homage to my dad's side of the family. And also, moving to Nashville in 2007 to chase a dream of songwriting. Kind of that's another Tennessee truth is like, I've been at it for a second. That's what brought me to Tennessee was the songs and via baseball. And at the end of the day, my simplest Tennessee truth is, I'm no different than the people that are going to be jamming these songs. I believe that we're kind of the same people. We have the same morals, we believe the same things. We love working hard. We love having something to look forward to. And we love our country, and we love who we love, and it's just we just try to live an authentic life. And these songs are just real to me, and I know that the content of these lyrics and these songs are what a lot of people are doing that are just like me. When on their off time they're fishing, they're hunting, they're planning their next trip with their wife or a date night. They're checking their game cameras to see what's moving. They're checking their bass app to see what's biting. Their worlds revolve around the same thing that mine does. And so that's like, there's a bunch of Tennessee truths. And I just thought it was a cool title to take from the song Kiss My Boots and make it the title of the record. I just thought it was a little different than having a song title be the record title.
Yeah.
I think kind of been dreaming of doing that for a while. And it was either, we went back and forth. I was like, is it Tennessee Tone? I was like, that's kind of cool. And she's like, it's Tennessee Truth. I was like, yeah, you're right. It's way better. But Kiss My Boots is one of those songs where we talked about earlier. I had no idea I was going to write that song that day. That's a magic songwriting session. That's the magic of Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, of just being available for the day and the moment. I mean, that day started with a guy on Zoom writing, and then I had two buddies in the room, and we picked around for hours, like started a couple choruses, worked on a couple different songs, and I was finally like, hey, let's take a little lunch break. I'm not loving anything that we're doing for me. Let's just take a break. We came back, and my buddy who was on Zoom had to get to a gig, so it was just me and two buddies in the room, and my buddy Dylan just throwing out ideas. He goes, what about comes out with the whiskey? And I was like, that's interesting. Like, it all comes out in the wash, all comes out in the whiskey, And so that was the line that started kind of us feeling like there was something. We started kind of a little melody, a couple lyrics started falling out. And, we were all just pulling from, once we landed on, I just kind of landed on, and You Can Kiss My Boots. And it just had attitude, and we were all just pulling from probably all the people over the years in the music industry and just in life in general of our Kiss My Boots list, So definitely writing from a real place, not one person specific, but it was just a magical moment, a magical songwriting session to be able to put energy and feelings in a collaborative effort into a song that means a lot for us. And at the end of the day, means a lot for fans and people that hear it. It was just really cool. Like, I didn't have Kiss My Boots title in my notes. Like, it just off the cuff, I knew that we were going to go back to, and I can't help but tell that Tennessee truth. I'm cranking Hank, drinking Jack, cranking Hank, drinking Jack. And I knew the oots rhyme was coming. I was like, and you kiss my boots. Like, I was like having a revelation right when I was saying it. I was like, that's it. Like, that's the song. And so I just liked that it was just different, emotional, and real and authentic. And I think there's power in putting a song out like that for people that have heard it. I've been seeing a bunch of comments of people being like, man, BK, y'all nailed it. Y'all knew exactly what I was going through. And as a songwriter and as an artist, it means a lot to me that people can relate to it. And I'm hopefully, giving people their new workout jam and just an outlet for them to vent, to stay on the high road, and to just a different kind of song that came from a real place from all of us in that room that day. So it's kind of a crazy story how that came to be. I think people have tried to frame it how they want to frame it, and that's cool. People can do whatever they want with that song and figure out what it means for them or how they think it means for me. But that's the what you get when you put a song out. But I love that song. I'm so thankful that we stuck around. I told the guys, I was like, hey, once our buddy got off, I was like, I'm down to stay late if you guys are. Like, it's Friday night. I want to leave with something that I love that I want to record. And that's what we left with. And I was like fired up, man.
It's a damn good song.
I really appreciate it.
Brittney,
you
what's your
remember when
favorite?
I came down, I was like, babe.
Like sweating, smelling like whiskey. He's like, this is a song. This is a song.
It's just different, Like I just.
Well, you
I just thought
usually
it was
don't
cool.
write like, I don't know. You're usually more of in a positive space of songwriting. And
Yeah.
when that song came out and you came down and told me the chorus, I was like, damn, I've got to kiss my boots list for sure.
What is your favorite off the album?
Probably Acres.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stop playing that one and singing that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Acres.
Mhm.
Is there one that felt easier to write and one that was like, fuck, we just can't get this one done? Like, we just can't figure it out.
King Ranch was pretty easy.
Yeah.
That was down in Florida. Me and Catlin, we're in our little studio above our little surf shop we have. This old house we renovated years ago. My little studio's on the second level, and Brittany was up there on the couch while we were writing it. Just like a super casual, hey, you want to go to the surf post and write a song? And it happened in maybe 2 hours, pretty quick. And I think we had the title. And then it was just spinning. She's the queen of my King Ranch. But I knew I was like, let's write a song called King Ranch and make it just like not a serious song in terms of like we're going for song of the year and it has to be so serious. Like, let's just write a song that feels good, that people want to freaking jam,
Yeah.
that can be an outlet, that's like a dope little love song about the queen of your King Ranch truck, And so that was pretty easy. Like they don't always happen. I hate even saying it's easy because
It's rare.
next time I write a song
Yeah.
the next week or something, it's going to be really hard probably. But Trucks, Ducks, Bucks, and Beer, obviously kind of simple, fun title. But that song is pretty sentimental and pretty serious. That took a second to kind of craft,
Mhm.
It didn't take crazy long, but that was like, all right, let's like nail the lyrics. Like I think the second verse we spent a decent amount of time on because it was just really important to nail a really strong second verse and not just phone it in because
Yeah.
we got a banging first verse and first chorus. It's like, let's spend some time. And I think that second verse is better than the first. And I think that's when you have a job well done when that happens, And then anything else that was hard? Doing nothing was
wasn't
pretty
there.
easy.
That tracks.
Wasn't in the room.
Let's see here. How We're Living was pretty easy to write once we wrote it, but we wrote a full song before that. And I had just met, I think, everybody in the room but one person. I knew one guy and kind of speed writing it. I was doing 2 sessions a day at that point, and just getting after it. And wrote a song called Still at the Bar. And I was like, this is a cool song. I'm glad I wrote on it, but I was like, I'm not going to record this. And I go, guys, I've got more time if y'all want to write another one. And my buddy started playing this, like, if I drink, I'm getting drunk. If I smoke, I'm getting high. I'm like, okay, let's write. Hell yeah. And then I just kind of busted out, like, around here, it's a family tradition. It's a long, long line of loving how we're living. And once we had that, like, melody and those words for the chorus, I was all in. I was like, this is totally probably for me. It just felt like me. But that's just like hanging around and pushing and waiting and seeing, and it's just like kind of getting back to fishing, It's like, let's try a different bait and throw it in, It's like let's grab a snack or
Let's move to a different hole.
no, for real, like move around. Let's go in another room.
Yeah.
Let's go in the living room. Let's go back to the studio and just trying to, you're there to write a song, and I don't want to just write a song. Like, I don't want to just leave us, oh, we wrote a song today, cool. Like, I want to write something meaningful. I want something for me, or I want a song to have a life bigger than me if somebody else records it. And, it's not just a, 9 to 5 kind of thing. Like, there's a lot of depth in what, songwriters what we do, and just trying to, like I said, find the realness in the room. And also you're just like navigating through all the songs you've heard in your entire life to create new melodies. It's like filtering out all the things you love to make something new, right? So it can take time, and then sometimes when you just have a little spark, sometimes it's all it takes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is crazy.
Yeah, so it's so foreign to me. So
I know.
yeah.
I could ask questions about songwriting all day long. I feel like it's so interesting.
It's fun. It
Do
really
you
is.
get writer's block? Are you like?
Doesn't sound like it.
It doesn't.
I
He's
mean,
like, and I'm like, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's write another.
If I'm by myself, I mean, I can definitely be like, I'll sit down. Try to sit down like every day at some point by myself and at least pluck some chords and just like mumble some stuff over some melodies and see if there's anything there. And like, if I catch myself, I'll hit voice memo on and just like, or if I'll sit down, I'll maybe have a title that I like already, and I'll see if I can match that title with like a melody or some guitar chords to spark anything.
Or you ask me for my title.
Oh, I'll be like, babe, you got any titles? Just give me any title. Give me a title, And
Ooh,
if I don't
what
like
does
her
she come
title,
up
it'll make
with?
me think of something that I
Yeah.
may
I
like.
have like
Yeah.
a running list in my
She's
notes.
got a good little list of
Yeah.
titles. But I'll probably have more of a chance of getting writer's block if I'm by myself. If I'm co-writing with people in the room, it's easier to get out of that,
Mhm.
But I think really, I mean, I don't know if I've ever had like a full writer's block. I think I'll just get stuck on an idea and be like, okay, ADD or whatever, next idea.
Yeah,
Let me get to
let's
another
move on.
idea that I can maybe move forward along. But I really enjoy starting stuff by myself, like getting ideas like a little plotted out, whether that's like typically I'm a chorus starter. That's kind of my favorite way to come in with a song. Like I just wrote a song with some buddies like a week and a half ago, and I had this chorus started. You heard me singing around the house, and my buddy was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I just got done with press." He's like, "Come over to the studio." And so we hung, and I just was messing around playing this, chorus that I kind of had like half of, and they're like, "That's sick. Let's finish that right now." So we finished the whole song in like 35 minutes probably. And that just started from me walking around the house going, "She
How
want a
many
farm.
songs?
She want a barn to go with it. Couple of dogs. She want a goat and some chickens." I just had this like thing, like she want a farm, and I don't know. I never want to get
That's
away
so
from
fun.
that. Like, I just think that's like my inner voice. And that's like,
So like, how many
Yeah.
songs do you have recorded that the world doesn't have the pleasure of knowing?
probably a pretty good amount of demos. I don't sing a ton of demos.
I mean,
Um,
written songs, probably
Written,
thousands.
yeah, a bunch of songs written. But
But
I'm
like, it
working
almost
on
sounds like
getting-
you could have like another album ready to go. If
I
you
mean, I
wanted to.
could.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm chomping at the bit to get more music out for sure. I'm really, that's like high priority
That's awesome.
to just, continue to, yeah, I just think that's where the world is. I mean, like the way that people consume content, these days, and music and everything, it's just like, I got to stay going, because even me as a fan, I'm like, all right, sick. I digested that Morgan's new album in a day and a half, and it's got 40 songs on it, And I
Yeah.
might be more of a fanatic than other people. I love my music, but just staying on it and getting it out there.
That's-
Serve the fans.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. I know you guys have to get going. I just have a hard pivot question because you guys are true crime fans.
Mhm.
Are you following the story of the pastor and his wife who allegedly?
I have been a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, you were gonna catch me up on
that thing's crazy.
Is it? Do you think he?
I don't know. I need to do a little bit more. I know there's probably been a couple breakthroughs the past couple days, but I will say how casual he dropped it at the church service.
Right.
Suspicious.
There's no chance I mean, if there's no chance I'm showing up to church if I'm the pastor that day, if that happened with my wife.
It was like oh, by the way.
Yeah, I don't, that doesn't gel with me at all. I know there's some history of
seems
some
shady.
things going on, some police
Mhm.
calls and some things. I heard the 911 call.
Yeah, that was very sad.
Very sad. I hate that her family and the families are going through that. It's definitely terrible, unimaginable. But you're gonna need to dig on that one.
Yeah.
That's what do you guys think?
It's just suspicious.
I think he's no good.
Yeah.
I think he's no
yeah.
good. I don't.
That was my first when I watched the video of them. I'm like, I don't know how you try to like put yourself in somebody's shoes, but in that case, it's like, man, I don't know how you do that.
I also don't like my pastors wearing True Religion jeans.
Anyone wearing True Religion
Yeah.
jeans.
Anyone
Got
wearing
questions.
True Religion
Got questions if you got those jeans on.
Brian, Brittany, this has been a real pleasure.
Thanks for the hang,
Really
yo.
thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all your guys' success, and I wish
Y'all
you
too.
so much more success in your great career. We can't wait to hear all the great music you have
Appreciate it.
clearly recorded and hopefully out soon. But really, it's been so much fun talking with you guys. Please let us know where our audience can find you both. Plug anything you want to plug. I know you guys have your clothing line as well. You mentioned it earlier. They gifted us, by the way. We have some stuff
No
back there.
way.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
got some
my
cozies.
God.
Some Tribe
Got
Kelly
some Tribe
stuff.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some cozy sweatsuits. Everything's made in LA.
Love.
Right here. Made
USA
in
made?
USA.
That was made in LA?
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
y'all out here a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You
A
are.
little bit. Yeah, she's out here
Checking
probably
the
a little bit more than
factories
me.
and
But
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, check us out
Yeah.
on
There you go.
Brian and Brittney
Instagram.
Kelley.
Yeah, Brian and Brittney Kelley.
Yeah.
and TribeKelly.com. And
Yeah. Thank
hit
y'all
us
for
up.
having us.
Love to connect with everybody and
Yeah.
appreciate y'all having us and awesome space. And
Yeah, likewise.
y'all keep crushing it and keep doing your thing. And
Yeah, we'd love to have y'all down
Yeah.
to Florida. He's playing, let's see, a week of shows at the end of June and a week of shows at the end of July behind
We'll be
our
there.
Yeah, let's be
surf
best friends.
post.
Yeah.
We'll
I
be there.
know.
come
Hell
hang.
yeah.
Come
Hell
hang
yeah.
with
Y'all
us.
could even do like a live, or doesn't have to be live, but y'all could do like a pod setup.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there's
We've
a
got a
setup
cool
back
little
there.
backyard, little
Okay.
tiki
Or
hut.
studio.
It's a vibe.
Okay.
You could
Yeah.
definitely,
We're down.
you know,
Okay, we're
Yeah.
down.
still
All right,
change the
best friends.
scenery.
Really? Okay.
Besties.
If we didn't already have our wedding, we would have invited y'all to our wedding.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, that's really kind.
We would have.
And we would have come.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we would have came to y'all's 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah,
there in
we'd love to
spirit.
have y'all in Nashville or Florida.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, get to know y'all better.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we appreciate it. Well,
What
it was
size boot you wear?
11.
Okay.
All right. Mental check. Yeah, I'm
Do some real cowboy boots.
He's in it
No,
now,
those are
yeah.
those are perfect for you.
I love
I'm
these
digging
boots.
this for you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I don't know if I'm at snake skin level yet.
You look good in
just gotta
suede.
go for it.
Right.
Just
Probably.
gotta go for it.
Just take the jump.
Yeah,
Take the
you-
jump.
Well, we'll get you to
Yeah.
kill a snake first.
I think
and
I do. I think I
then-
need to do some
yeah.
cowboy shit. I
You
need to
do.
earn my
Wrangle a
stripes.
snake.
You
You
know,
do.
like I don't.
Yeah.
I want to be a real cowboy. you know?
Okay. Brian, show him how to be a real cowboy.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you again to Brian and Brittany. Don't forget to send in those questions at AskNick@theViallFiles.com for all things Ask Nick, texting office hours. You guys know the drill. We'll see you back on Monday. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.